Welcome to the Grand Fleet Podcast. In this podcast, we are counting down to One Piece, Chapter 1000. And in preparation of this glorious chapter, this mysterious and glorious chapter, we're going to... we've been talking about like different subjects, and today we're going to talk about the four emperors. This is actually probably like one of the episodes I was most excited to talk about, and I'm a little disappointed because we don't have everybody here. But yeah, why don't you two go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Yep, I'm Waddles Jr. I do a podcast called the Onesie Piece Podcast, where me and my buddy dress up in onesies and talk about One Piece, essentially.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm King KZ from my channel King KZ75, and I just basically talk about stuff in One Piece, making sense of some stuff, imagining some scenarios that would be really amazing in One Piece, and just mostly discussion videos.
Yeah. I'm Smizzle. I make all types of videos. That's really all I can say. Like, go to my channel, I guess, see if what you find there is interesting. I don't know. But yes, the four emperors. This is like the four emperors. They're probably like one of the most intriguing concepts in the entire series. You guys agree?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's just interesting to have these characters who are like at the top, but they're not at the top, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess we can go in like sort of alphabetical order, which I think if we go by like monikers, I think Big Mom would be first, like B.
Mm-hmm.
AHIJ. Yeah, Big Mom would be first, or if we go by like actual names, Big Mom would still be first as Charlotte Linlin. But yeah. Anybody have anything to say about Big Mom?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot to say about Big Mom, right?
She's big.
Right.
Sorry. But yeah, Big Mom is, I think from her inception, I think just the whole idea of her crew and it being her family is just incredible. I think back in Thriller Bark, I think was the first time she was ever kind of hinted towards, if I'm not mistaken. And back then, I think there was because I think Big Mom and Kaido were name dropped in Thriller Bark.
They were name dropped. No, it was Return to Water 7, the arc right before.
Okay,
They were still at Water 7 and they were about to leave. Yeah.
They got name dropped that early on, huh?
Yeah, but we just never saw them. And I think what was interesting for me,
those silhouettes. Yeah,
I think the best thing for me is that, honestly, if I had a YouTube video back then, I would have just, like, even now, I'd still be making references to something that I feel like I called, but it was the fact that we met Lola in Thriller Bark, and when she gave Nami the Viver card and said, "Oh, my mom's like a pirate in the New World," and everything, I'm like, I bet her mom's gonna be Big Mom. I just said that off the cuff, and then a couple hundred episodes later, it's revealed that it actually is Big Mom. I was actually so shocked.
Wow.
Should have made a video about it. You nailed it.
Oh, yeah. Big Mom I think she's probably like the most underrated of the Yonko. But I feel like that's also kind of hard to say because, like, all the Yonko, they have so many interesting things going on about them. But I think Big Mom is like, I feel like something about the fact that, like, maybe since her origin was the first one to be revealed, we know the most about, like, her childhood. Maybe right next to Shanks, like, but probably, yeah. We probably know most about her childhood. I feel like somehow that makes her less interesting to some people. Do you feel that way too?
Like, you think because, like, kind of the mystery is gone a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The mystery is gone. So, like, people are almost naturally going to be less interested. Maybe, yeah, I don't know if that's natural or, it's just fans being, I don't know.
No, I think that definitely makes sense. I mean, because when Garp first mentioned these four emperors that rule over the second half of the Grand Line, it was a kind of like, wow, this is really the top of the pirating world. This is once you've made it to the four emperors, you actually made it in life as a pirate. So,
Right.
like
Apparently.
and they were so mysterious. Of course, like we had seen Whitebeard and maybe Shanks clash, but you know, Big Mom and Kaido, they were mysterious characters who we'd never seen. So now we've kind of gotten to see Big Mom. We've gotten to see how she was when she was younger. Of course, we still don't know everything about where her story is going and all that kind of stuff, but we've gotten to see her, and so it's kind of like that mystery is a bit gone from how did she become this great pirate. So now we're just looking to how did Shanks become the way he is, and understanding how he went from being on Roger's ship to being a Yonko. How did Kaido become the way he is? That's what everyone's wondering now in Wano. Or, how did how did other people come along? Blackbeard, when he was younger, what was he like?
Yeah.
I think Blackbeard might have had the most. I think Blackbeard's childhood is the most mysterious, if we're gonna rate them. But yeah, I feel like her mystery is kind of gone. People also say she's the weakest. I feel like that's also not true. All right, here's a piping hot take. I was really hoping that everybody would be on.
Lay it on us.
But
We're ready.
piping hot take. All right. All the Yonko, and all the admirals, and any character who could be considered like a top tier character. So that would also include Mihawk. That would probably also include Sengoku. That could possibly also include Garp, and also Roger. I think all those characters are completely interchangeable as far as strength. Yeah, that's my take.
That is indeed a hot take.
That is a hot
Yes.
take. Yep.
Yeah. But like the reason we don't see the admirals, like the reason we might see the Yonko as stronger than the admirals is because the Yonko, like, they can kind of do whatever they want. They can destroy as many towns as they want. They can steal from as many people as they want. They can fight whomever they want. But the admirals, they have to. Their feats of power are committed when they're assigned to commit them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they can't fight anyone unless they've been told to. Unless the duty calls for it. So you don't see them you don't see them causing as much destruction as, say, we won't see you didn't see Kizaru creating as much destruction as, say, Blackbeard, because they're just because Kizaru is not allowed to do that quite as often, and Blackbeard can do whatever he wants. So there it is. There's my take. Also, Mihawk is probably like a little bit of an enigma, because like I think he's probably I think he's probably Yonko level. I think it would make sense to believe he's Yonko level. It would also make sense to believe he isn't, but take him or like it's whatever. You can kind of take it or leave it. I wouldn't be mad if he wasn't Yonko level. I wouldn't be mad if he was. But yeah, it's crazy because like I used to never care about power scaling, but now here I am.
I think it's just a natural part. Now, I mean, in relation to your take, of course, I personally would disagree. I don't think that you're crazy for thinking this or anything like that. I understand, basically based on what's in the story and everything. Although I personally believe that there are slight levels, and I'm not saying that they are worlds apart in strength, but I think there's slight levels to it, and some are slightly strong. For example, like the Yonko are slightly stronger than the Admirals and all that. But I generally understand what you're saying. In relation to Mihawk, I think that he is definitely a Yonko level character. I don't know about... I know it's not clear just how strong he is.
You say
but
definitely
I think,
not Yonko?
No, he definitely is.
Okay.
Now, I don't know definitely how strong he is, because that's still kind of like an open-ended thing in the story.
Yeah,
but I just
very
think based on what we've
ambiguous.
been given, he is. Whether that means he may be one of like on the weaker end of all the characters on that level, or whether he's on the stronger end of all the characters that are on that level. I think he definitely is somewhere there.
Yeah. I mean, every time we've seen him fight, he has had like no issues. Not even, like,
Yeah.
no issues fighting anybody so far. So what we've seen from him, it's like he seems almost invincible. But we also haven't seen very much.
Are we seeing Levi? Are we seeing that Levi wants to join?
Oh, did he say he was
Yeah.
popping in here?
Okay. All right. If we can, don't forget. Hopefully, you don't forget to start recording. Yeah, we hardly even talked about Big Mom, and we're 10 minutes in. Wow.
Okay, back to Big Mom. Let's
Alright.
go. So
Okay,
I think
back to Big.
starting from like just Big Mom and like her flashback that we saw from the time she was young, because it seems like she's always been the way she is, although some people theorize that maybe she had experiments done to her as a baby or something like that, or something, you know, similar to the Germa Vince, the Vince Smokes, where, you know, maybe the experimentations were done before she was born. But as far as we know, she's always been like this. And I think it's just interesting that she is one of the very few characters who just seems to be born as kind of better than, like, stronger than everyone else. I mean, Odin is another
Okay, I see
character
what
who's
you're talking about.
who's kind of been born like
This crazy natural strength. This, like, yeah, I think Big Mom was kind of terrifying because, like, oh, hey there. I think should we catch them up. We're talking about the four emperors. We started with Big Mom, so you haven't missed too much. I was just about to say that I think Big Mom's her unnatural strength was in a weird way more terrifying than, say, Odin's or maybe the Luffy or like, I think her natural strength was more terrifying because, like, she I don't know, she doesn't have like a very like pugnacious spirit. Like, as a child, she didn't have a very pugnacious spirit until, you know, she got hungry and until she had her hunger pangs. I think that added a level of of fearsomeness. I don't know if that's a word, but that added a level of fearsomeness to her crazy strength.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys started with Big Mom. I thought you would start with Whitebeard.
Yeah, we like I considered them like I wasn't really sure who to start with, so we're going kind of maybe alphabetically, you know, which I guess Whitebeard would be next. Edward Newgate, Charlotte Linlin, right?
Oh, by their actual name, not their epithet.
Yeah. Either way, Big Mom would be first, right? But we could
To
go
Blackbeard.
either. Yeah, I did say Blackbeard, but I meant Marshall D. Teach.
Okay, real names.
Yeah.
We're not using our made-up names.
Levi, are you recording?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm gonna start that right now.
Okay.
But to go back to what Smizzle was saying, I think her hunger pains give her, like, just that. It gives you that uneasiness of, like, not like, she's not always even in control. She's so strong, and even she's not in control. So, like, anything could happen, and
Right.
that's, like, the animalisticness of it all makes her really terrifying, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I totally agree that it adds to it. But then you have kind of a similar thing with Kaido and him getting, like, drunk and just going off the wall, like, wherever he wants to. So
I was just gonna say, I think that part of it is I like it. Like, part of that kind of with Kaido and Big Mom, you know, when one is hungry and the other one is drunk, that they kind of just lose control, but they're still so terrifying. Even when they do, it's really, I like to see that because both of them know it, that even when they lose control, most of you guys can't even touch us. And
Right.
I think, like, a big part of their strength is I think for me is interesting because of just how strong they know they are.
I think it's very interesting that. Sorry, what was I going to say? I got distracted because a thought crossed my mind about Big Mom. The fact that, how old was she when she was on the Rock's crew? She was
pretty young, but
I think
I think
she
she already had her
was-
first kid by the time
Wait.
they disbanded.
How long did Rox was 38 years ago, I think? Am I right?
40, wasn't it?
And
40.
she is. Hold on, I have the wiki up.
She's 68 now. But so she was around
38 years ago.
Yeah,
30.
28 or 30.
30 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she had already popped out a bunch of them.
Yeah.
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 That's,
Because Sparrow came at like 18. So
Yeah. As soon as she was old enough, I'm pretty sure that the
Dang.
first baby daddy was the guy who
said-
found her as a kid.
How many kids does she have? What's the exact number?
I think like
85
40,
or somewhere
45.
there.
85. Oh my god.
Yeah. 85.
Yeah. They're like 30 something
Yeah.
sons or 30 something daughters and 40 something sons.
My love.
Somewhere there.
I would be very willing to bet the bet on Streusen being Parasparrows.
Oh my.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I
Which
feel
is
like that
super
would have come
creepy.
up. I feel like that would have come up in Whole Cake Island, but also, thinking about it logically, she had like we've seen Oda drew like that one little sort of diagram or whatever showing Big Mom how she changed through the years, and I feel like 18 years old would be right in that one that middle period, where she just suddenly becomes hot, and then I'm just saying, I don't know. Like I would be Big Mom. I would be Sparrow's father if she looked like that, right? But, so anyway, let's continue. So
Why? Okay, go ahead. What point did you want to continue on? Because I mean, we could go on about our kids for a
We
little
could.
while.
yeah,
I know there's some other things I want to say.
all right,
I mean, but
all right. So
I don't know if you had something more relevant to say. You can do that first, though.
Yeah, I guess like do we know how many husbands she has? Do we know like how many other husbands than Pound do we know about? I feel like none. I can't come up with any off the top of my head.
I don't
I
think any of them have been named, but we can make some educated guesses.
Okay.
Ooh. Who can we do
Alright.
that about? Except for like
I want
Streusen,
you-
maybe.
I want you guys to take a close look at Oven.
Oven.
And anybody who's listening along to our video today, take a close look at Oven.
All right.
And
Let me
tell
look
me,
at it.
I think. Hold on. I think I know what you're talking about. Like
no,
Oven,
sorry, I searched up
he
Oven
does
and
have a
actual Oven
slight
came up.
resemblance to Kaido. Am I right? Let me look.
tell me that he doesn't. Just kind of add like a little bit of a mustache to him, and tell me he
So,
doesn't look
like
like
Oven.
anyone.
Let me look. Hold on. Yeah. Oven.
Please don't be saying
You're
that.
you're trying to say he looks like Kaido, right?
I think I'm thinking the same thing.
It's uncanny, and think about because we do know that he's full brothers with Daifuku and Katakuri, and Katakuri is a monster. It would make a lot of sense if the three of them were children of someone she happened to be spending a lot of time with in her youth.
Yeah. So Kaido, is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the
is
thing
that-
about that.
ahead.
The thing about that theory is that actually, there was actually a group of YouTubers that came and actually interviewed Oda. They were a group of Japanese YouTubers, of course, but they came and they interviewed Oda, and he said that and like they actually asked him, "Are Daifuku, Oven, and Katakuri the sons of Kaido?" And he just said no. So I think that's like that kind of that low-key does kind of shut the theory down.
I don't know. I think he was a bit ambiguous in that one.
He said like it would be cool or something like that. I think he said like something about like it would be cool, but I think he said yeah, no. If I'm not mistaken, like he straight up just said they're not Kaido's children, even though they do. There is.
Yeah. I just put a picture
Yeah.
down that I think
Yeah.
some people have used.
I've seen it.
If you
I
want to
saw
check that
it.
out.
I saw it. It would be cool, but like I don't know. It just doesn't like. Oda did kind of just say no, so like I don't know. Would Oda just lie to us? Would Oda lie to us about something like that?
For me, I think that, I mean, maybe with what Oda said, but for me, just my belief of Kaido's age, I don't think Kaido is old enough. I think Kaido might have been a bit too young back then. I mean, possibly still, but I think he might have been a bit too young just off of how old I think Kaido is right now.
Have we never gotten confirmed how old he is?
Nope.
Yeah, that's
no
what I'm saying.
confirmation
Like
of
that's why I
Kaido.
said it's what I think of how old he
Yeah.
is, not really. Yeah. So based on how old I
No,
think he
yeah.
is, I think he'd be a bit too young to be their father.
I
He
think
does
so,
look
too.
notably younger than Big Mom.
I would say, yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. I can't imagine how old he might be then.
Oh,
Me either.
I can go into this.
I mean-
if you want.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, I have to just shamelessly plug that I talked about this in a video once, but based on what we
I think
know
I might
about
seen that
Kaido.
one.
Based on what we know about Kaido, about his relationship with Big Mom back in the Rocks crew, the fact that he was back then they said he called him an apprentice or something like that, and basically based on the fact that he was apprentice, it's a bit interesting to note like who apprentice pirates are in the story, because apart from Kaido back then, we only know that Marco was once one, Shanks, Buggy, and Blackbeard, I think.
Pretty sure they stated Marco was 15 when he was on
Yes.
Whitebeard's crew as an apprentice.
Exactly. So for me, it was like, what exactly makes you an apprentice pirate? And for me, I think the conclusion that I came to is more of your age when you become that if you are a certain age, you probably be considered an apprentice pirate. Not really if you are a new pirate, because Rockstar, when he joined Shanks' crew, was new, but he wasn't considered an apprentice on Shanks' crew. He was just considered a rookie. So I just came to the conclusion that it's probably your age, and it's probably once you reach 17 that you stop being considered an apprentice pirate if you were, which would also tie
that
into
makes
why
sense.
Luffy and Ace wanted to leave when they were 17 as well.
That's
Ties
just
into
like
that a bit.
considered the widely considered age at which you become a pirate. Yeah, that
Exactly.
makes
So
sense.
based on that, I just guessed that, okay, you know what, Kaido might have probably been, that much younger when he was in the Roxas crew. Also considering that he calls both Big Mom and Kaido old people. I mean, that may just be the way he talks to them, but I don't. But then I was like, okay, that also may be the fact that even when he was young, they were old. So
Yeah, they were old to
he's
him,
just used to calling them old people as well. So for
Yeah.
me, Kaido might have been. I mean, even if we say he's like one of the older rookies, older apprentice pirates, might have been maybe 16 or 15, and then
Yeah,
30,
I'm down
40,
for that.
40 years later,
Yeah.
he's now mid 50s.
Well, that
And
definitely
yet-
makes it weird that
Exactly, and then Katakuri is almost 50 now. So
Yeah,
that's why I say
doesn't line
he
up
was too
terribly
young.
well.
But if Oda Oda comes out and
he
says
was
that
only
Kaido's
13
older,
when he had a kid with Big Mom. That's messed
Yeah,
up.
it was
that's
so- Yeah,
exactly. But if Oda came out and explained it and said, okay, no, Kaido is actually older, and the timeline makes sense, then I'd be fine with that.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I think okay, so like since like these three Charlotte triplets, they do have a strong resemblance to Kaido, just like undoubtedly they have a strong resemblance to Kaido. What if Kaido has like a relative or a sibling who was on the Rocks crew, and like he decided and like I don't know, I'm not even gonna try to guess his name, but let's say
Rido.
just for the sake of the just for the sake of a conversation, we'll call
Checkers.
him
Checkers.
we'll call him Checkers. We'll call
Oh,
him
yeah.
Checkers. Why not? But yeah, that would make sense. I'd be down with that. I would be very like Oda would have to like go. I feel like Oda would have to go in depth about like what happened to Checkers, right? What exactly? What exactly happened between the two, and how this would I feel like this could possibly add some context to Kaido and Big Mom's relationship. But yeah, I mean, that's a completely off the dome, very flimsy theory, if you can even call it a theory.
I like
So-
that. Big Mom Pirates
Yeah.
coming to see Uncle Kaido.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we ever get like somebody say if we ever get like one of the Big Mom pirates calling Kaido Kaido OG-san. OG-san means uncle. But yeah, if we ever say that, if we ever see them say OG-san or G-san or something like that, then yeah, there you go. That's confirmation. But anyway,
speaking of their relationship, what do you think it is that Kaido owes her, or like?
Right.
That was mentioned very briefly.
A lot of memes early on were about child support. You know. But ever since the Rocks chapter, ever since the chapter we got about Rocks, and ever since we got the what else? Ever since we got like Oda's confirmation that like the triplets are not Kaido's sons, like it's kind of set in stone at this point that like they never had any sort of previous copulation, if we can call it that.
We never said that. We just know that those three
That is true.
aren't the kids.
Yeah. Okay. But
Can't rule anything else out.
We got a lot of there's actually a lot of interesting things regarding family in the Yonko. It's weird how three of the Yonko, they have kids, or Big Mom, she has her whole crew is her kids, and then Kaido, he has Yamato, and and Whitebeard, he has he calls his crewmates his sons, but he also has Newgate. I mean, not Newgate. Wow, Weevil. Yeah. So and Shanks and Blackbeard, they'd be the only odd ones out. Although I have seen some theories about Shanks having a child,
son.
But we can get to those later. We can get to those in just a little bit, But anyway,
although Blackbeard and Shanks are a lot younger than the others.
Yeah, I was gonna
so
say.
the others they have
they're
a lot of.
just about the same age. But
No,
they're like 36, 38, like some around.
No.
Range.
I think they're 40 and 39, somewhere there.
Yeah, mid to late 30. That's definitely like prime time. Like that's definitely like the overdue time to start having kids. I'd say, right around your early to mid 30s. But
I mean,
you're
probably
I'm not gonna
right.
I'm not going to. Tell
But I think that most characters in the One Piece world who are parents are like later in their 40s or 50s. Most of them who we have seen have kids.
Let's think about this real quick though. Who do we know has kids? Yasop, he's not that old, and he had Usopp relatively young.
I mean, Roger also had Ace really in his like almost 50s.
Yeah. Okay.
as well.
Roger had Ace pretty old. Do we know how old Weevil is? Because if Weevil is Newgate's son, then
probably
we can kind of make
about
a guess.
40, because that's when they were together.
Okay, so yeah, that would put Whitebeard at what, 30 something, 20 or 30 something, right?
36.
Okay, so yeah, that is pretty late,
Oh wait,
or
do we have his age
compared
confirmed?
to real life. I don't know.
We have his age confirmed?
Sorry?
Whitebeard's age?
We
I
have
think so.
Edward
I'm
Weevil's
pretty sure
age
we do.
confirmed?
Oh, Weevil's age
Oh,
confirmed?
yeah.
No, Weevil.
I don't know.
Oh, no, I think
35.
he just said 40 because of the time if Bakin was on rocks and then that.
Oh yeah,
then.
it would have to be at least 40.
Yes,
something
apparently
like
he's
that, something
35
like
though,
that.
which would mean that they had to have been
Yeah.
together after the Rocks Pirates were disbanded. Which adds a little suspicion to his lineage.
I mean, it could just be like the suspected relationship between Rayleigh and Shocky, where Shocky might have been on the rocks as people suspect, but now they hang out together on Sabaody.
Personally, I really prefer the theory that we came up with in episode 7 about Weevil, that he's some kind of Frankenstein's monster.
True.
In case anybody wants to check that out, episode 7 of this podcast, where we talk about the 7 warlords.
That's on Jake's channel.
Yep.
But back to Big Mom. With her right now in Wano, especially in the most recent chapter of Wano, she seems to be headed for the roof.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was not something that a lot of people really said would happen. I don't know. Actually, I've never seen anyone even suspect this would happen. I feel like most people just assumed that Kaido and Big Mom would be dealt with separately. And no one ever talked about them having to be dealt with together. So, what are you guys feeling now with this last chapter?
I guess
next
like
to Big Mom.
I'm just curious as to like why.
Yeah.
Like why she headed to the roof? Like, is there somebody she wants to fight up there? I mean, who the scabbards? Like, the only person I can think of that she would actively want to fight is Luffy, who is not on the roof, but he's headed there. So maybe she's just going up there to like get Luffy. But that's, I don't know. That's kind of weird because like, wouldn't she say, "I'm headed. I want to get to Luffy" instead of "I want to get to the roof"? You know.
Yeah, she says, I want to get to the roof where Kaido's at. She specifically, like, says, like, she basically wants to get to Kaido, is how I kind of took it.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, it makes me wonder, how do we... I don't know, does Big Mom have an alternative motive? Like, is she even really teamed with Kaido? Or does she want, like, his soul or something?
Because as we learned recently... This was apparently her idea to team up.
Yeah.
She's been scheming something since the beginning.
Yes.
Which is strange for someone like her, but apparently she's come up with something.
Yeah, I think that she's definitely waiting for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever moment it is, whatever thing that she wants, who knows? Maybe she's also here to steal road poneglyphs. Who knows? Maybe she went to the basement, found nothing as well. But I forgot the point I was going to make here. You guys go ahead.
I mean, a part of me, so Kaido, I'm trying to remember, he actually, did his wound reopen? Did they reopen it?
I don't think so.
They weren't able to.
Oh, okay.
Really?
You know.
A part of me was
they
just
weren't
wondering if, like, because now he's kind of weaker, fighting all the samurai, if she's taking this opportunity to actually go up there and, like, maybe she knows that she can't do anything to him at full power, but if he's weak a little bit. I don't know. I just have this weird theory that maybe she's up to something else and she's actually going to betray Kaido.
I mean, I feel like that's not completely out of the... her betraying Kaido isn't completely out of the question.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Now I remembered. I was going to say that maybe she's actually a team player when she's on an alliance together. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
to some extent, you know, maybe she's just like, you know what, they're attacking us, so, you know, let's go. I'll be with Kaido top. We'll just take out all the strongest people, because that's where all the strongest people are going to gather up anyway. We'll defeat them together. This whole raid will be stopped. Just stomp it out here. Because I also suspect that there's a chance that Big Mom might actually kind of be with Kaido for this raid, and that Big Mom's plan, whatever she's planning behind the scenes,
It might not happen
has
till later.
nothing to do with this raid.
Yeah.
It's probably like something where she will betray. She has to wait for Kaido to help her achieve something, then she can betray him. So this whole raid it's not helping her plan.
Yeah. That would make sense. It's just
Right.
a stepping stone. It's just means to an end, you know.
That's very fascinating. Who do you think is going to get to the roof first, though? Her or Luffy?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think Kid. Sorry. So I just had to say Kid because Kid was already on the third floor while Luffy was climbing the stairs. But there's also an issue that Big Mom can fly.
Oh.
Kaido got to the rooftop instantly because he was flying. So I mean, there's also another thing that I was thinking about, that will Big Mom, I don't know, maybe on her way up, see Luffy in the corner of her eye and be like, "Whoa, wait, before I get to the top, Straw Hat."
Right. Yeah,
Right.
that's a possibility too. And
So,
I don't know. There's there's so much going on in these chapters. It's like hard to keep track of it all. I mean, if she's going up there to help him, and then Luffy shows up, and can they take on both of them? I don't see it happening.
Me either. Something's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe they're just so big that they just in each other's way. And then everyone else is so small that they're just running around.
Maybe.
Well, Tama's there. You know, maybe she can do the thing that people have been memeing about for a couple of years now. You know,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, feed Kaido a dango.
Oh.
Or
Okay, actually, I think this is a bit unrelated, but Tama is a mystery to me. Why did she come?
right.
Of all the people who we were expecting might come, like most people, including myself, were suspecting Hiyori might come. Because, of Kozuki. But Tama has never expressed any interest in killing Kaido or really fight. The most Tama has expressed interest in, as far as ambition, is going out to sea with
Becoming
Ace. Keeping her promise.
Yeah.
Becoming a kunoichi, but never anything about this.
Right.
So when I saw her, I was just like,
that's-
"Why are you here?"
Yeah, I agree. Like it's very.
And also, if she's here to fight, then why is she coming and then running away is the first thing? But
well, maybe she just saw Luffy's friends in danger. Got to get them to safety, and she's gonna get back into the fray after she takes Nami.
She only needs to run for 3 minutes.
yeah, that's another question. Why did she say 3 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I noticed is that like we come out with these like the chapter after, or we come out when the chapter after what we just read
Drops,
comes
yeah.
out. Right. So the thing about it is like so much stuff stuff will keep changing like as soon as we we'll talk about stuff and then like something will change like next chapter and our expectations are like blown completely out the water. I feel like that might happen with this next chapter. Like maybe Tama's gonna do something next chapter, and I mean that wasn't last chapter, was it? Like. Yeah, Tama coming in wasn't last chapter, or am I dumb?
Well, she came in
It
at
was
the end of the chapter.
it wasn't this
before
chapter. It
last.
was the last. Yeah.
It was like the last
Okay.
And then-
frame.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy that we have a battle with two of the biggest threats in the series, and that's not even the interesting part of
Yes.
the chapters. There's so much more
Right,
interesting
right.
happening that we're almost like, well, we can barely talk about the emperors of the sea that are here trying to kill Luffy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good rating.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
So-
do we want to talk about Big Mom's kids a little more? Because I think there's still
Sure.
a little more food for thought there.
Yeah, sure. Anything in particular?
We could talk about Smoothie. Everyone loves to talk about Smoothie.
Oh yeah.
Come on, let's just stop here. Let's Mizzle go.
Why did you expect me to say something?
No reason.
No. One thing you got to realize. It's November now. I'm.
Oh, yeah.
I'm changing. I'm metamorphosizing. I'm becoming a better person. A big like. I am. I by within these next 9 days, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be an ascended being. I'm gonna be different.
All right, for your sake, then,
But,
and for the sake of our listeners, we won't talk about Smoothie. Let's move on to maybe Brulee, Flampe, maybe. Talk about Brulee.
I don't know who's the youngest.
Well, don't know.
I
Let's,
think
the-
Flampe is really interesting, honestly. Just a little talk, because a lot of people hate her, and sure,
yeah,
she's
definitely.
she's not the most. She doesn't have the best character, but she has
Yeah.
the most, I think, understandable character. In the Big Mom Pirates of the younger kids, not really of the
Right.
older ones, because when she had that whole moment during the Luffy versus Karakuri and that whole thing when she saw Karakuri's face and she was laughing, and just the whole fact that they were taking pictures and everything. And I think it's very interesting because when Big Mom was coming up, the people who helped her the most, achieve everything that she has, Total Land becoming a Yonko, are the older kids, the Katakuris, the Perosperos, the Ovens, Brulee, like all the older kids you can imagine have been with her, helping her conquer the sea.
yeah, some of them are coming
And
up
then
at 50.
now that she has her kingdom and everything, now she has her younger kids and they've grown up, essentially in peace because it's not like anyone's attacking Totland. So as far as the characters of someone during a time of peace, she clearly reflects that she doesn't really have many priorities as far as getting stronger to help Big Mom become the king of the pirates. She reflects that this person has clearly got first world problems, essentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as far as really reflecting like how you'd expect someone to be growing up the way she has, she makes like a lot of sense.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me. What you said earlier kind of reminds me. Why do you think Big Mom calls herself the king of the pirates? Or wants to call herself the king of the pirates rather than queen. Like, any ideas about that?
If we start Big Mom questions like this, I would just like keep going. Like me and my questions, they would just keep going.
It's very interesting because like one thing also about her is like when she speaks, she uses ore, which is like almost exclusively like a male way to refer to the self. But yeah,
who knows? Maybe it's just one of those things where she's been the only female growing up in a male dominated sea, so she's just gained these mannerisms.
That makes sense.
Because apart from Big Mom, we don't really know of any other top tier strong female character.
I mean,
because I'm not to say that Boa Hancock is weak, but from Big Mom to Boa Hancock, it's a big jump.
Like, we talk about who the strongest guy in One Piece is all the time, but nobody talks about who the strongest woman in One Piece is. It's just obvious.
Yeah, there's hardly any contest.
Like, even
there's hardly any contest.
Even monsters who can scare Doflamingo, like Tsuru, it's like, but Big Mom. No, Big Mom is stronger.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like, who really comes close, though? Like, who actually comes believably close?
Probably the only ones would be Tsuru, Boa Hancock, and I mean, they don't come close, but I'm just saying they are the top of the females.
I mean, Yamato's pretty strong, but like...
No, I don't think it's...
Yamato is a big question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yamato's kind of a big question. Well, I don't know. Why do you say no, Levi?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If she was, like, anywhere near that level, she would not be having a hard time with the Armored Corps. Like, we can see her struggling in the last chapter. Now, she's obviously not losing. Like, Sasaki's like, you're going to kill my guys. Stop it. But at the same time, she's not having an easy go of it. Like, if Kaido was down there, he would be, like, playing golf with these people. He would just be batting them around like it's nothing.
Yeah.
There's a big gap there.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you could also just say that, the Armored Corps are just really strong. Maybe they're... Is there any reason to believe the Armored Corps, like Sasaki and the Armored Corps, aren't on the same level as, say, like, King or Queen? I don't know. But, that's just... we're reaching levels of just trolling, and power scaling arguments. But
yeah,
that comes with the territory when it comes to One Piece. Well, I guess there's Sugar. Sugar is top tier.
Definitely. Sugar is like undeniably, no matter how you see it, she's top tier. Like I guess you could say like she has basically no durability, very little durability. And objectively very little destructive power, but like all she really needs is like the circumstances, and it's not like incredibly difficult to achieve those circumstances that would put literally any top tier character out of commission completely. But yeah,
I wonder if you can hockey armor against her touch.
I don't know.
I don't think you can do the hardening, but you can do the one that comes out of you.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because apparently, like Virgo indicated that he believed that with enough hockey he could just not let Law cut him with his ability. So I wonder if that concept transfers.
I think that may be true for Law. Simply, I don't know if it's true for Sugar, but for Law, I think at least, because, I mean, in that same scene, just before Doflamingo talked about how Virgo always used to beat him up when he was younger, so I assume that if Law had that fruit, then that beating up wouldn't have happened, unless Virgo had stronger haki, and that was a way to stop it.
Yeah. So...
but I think also... just about Big Mom. I think we already touched a bit about this when you're talking about how strong Big Mom is. I think she may arguably be one of the weaker Yonkos, only because of her age. Because she right now is the oldest Yonko.
Yeah.
Everyone else is probably young. I mean, even though we don't know how old Kaido is, we can imagine that Kaido is also younger than Big Mom at the very least.
Well, we do.
Yeah.
We do have canon proof that Whitebeard, when alive, was stronger than her. Whitebeard was
How
the
so?
strongest.
Yeah.
Whitebeard was just the strongest. It was like fact.
Okay.
Kaido.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. We can't really say with Shanks and Blackbeard. Last time we saw Blackbeard fighting people, he wasn't exactly like being very impressive.
Mhm.
And while obviously he has, fate on his side, and he has powerful allies, and he has powerful abilities, and he's only gotten stronger, and he is physically very strong, it's hard to say where he'd stand up against someone like Big Mom. He's not really a frontal confrontation kind of fellow.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's difficult.
yeah. Well, we'll probably get to this when we talk about Blackbeard,
Yeah.
but
He's a sneaky boy.
yeah, I think you're right. He is.
All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about Big Mom?
Oh, just a quick before we move on, just where do you guys think she's going from Wano? Does she die in Wano? Does she go back to Totland? Does she go to Elbaf?
Actually, this is an interesting thing that applies to all of Yonko. Because here's the thing. Early in the series, Luffy beats a character. That character isn't usually really a threat past that. For instance, he beats Don Krieg. Don Krieg's dreams are shredded. He can't really climb again.
Yeah.
He beats Arlong. Arlong's put in prison. You don't have to worry about Arlong. Even he beats Doflamingo. Doflamingo's thrown in and Impel Down. He's not going to be, even if he comes back, he's not going to be the same kind of threat he was. But Yonko are different. They're a different animal. They're forces of nature in this world. What happens when Luffy beats one of them? I don't
That is
believe
the question.
Oda's going to kill them. But
Whatever
what
happened
do
to
they-
Shiki is what will happen to them, right?
But it's hard to say, because where can they go without dying? Like, what kind of role could they have in the story? Like, even when he beat Katakuri, he was a big thing in the world, but part of him was good. He's not like an evil character. He's not like King or Queen or Jack. They get beaten, but there's still enormous threats to the world at large and to Luffy. And they're not just going to be like, well, now I feel like Luffy's a comrade in arms. No, they're going to... The characters at this level who are also evil have a very hard to determine place going forward in the story, because you can't just get rid of them. And Oda's not going to kill them, at least not all of them.
Yeah. It's
And
hard
they
to
can't
say.
just be like, okay, you're an Impel Down.
That's true.
And it's not like you can kill Kaido. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say what's going to happen.
Yeah.
because and Oda doesn't like killing characters.
No, he
so
doesn't.
we might get a death from someone, but I think that's gonna be it.
Mhm.
I don't think we're gonna see King, Queen, Jack, Kaido, Big Mom dying.
Yeah, like it's hard to say. Like, where do you think? Where we think they'll be? I mentioned. I don't even remember what the context was, but I definitely mentioned in an earlier episode what I thought was going to happen to Kaido, right? But what I think, I really don't have any real ideas about what's going to happen to Big Mom, like at all, to be honest. Like, yeah, I don't really have any ideas. Do you guys?
I mean, I guess you could just toss him in the ocean. Marines come in, throw him in the ocean, problem solved. Luffy knocks him out. We'll just toss him in there. I don't know. I feel you, though.
But
What
Yeah.
if Big Mom just keeps chasing Luffy? Like, she
I
is
could-
just constantly on his tail for the rest of the series, and he just, like, he can't kill her because she just doesn't take damage, and she's like an animal.
Yeah.
But he'll just, like, eventually get to this point where he's strong enough to beat her back, but then she just comes after him the next arc. And every arc from here on out, Big Mom follows Luffy to the island, and he has a time frame where he has to finish what he's doing on that island, and then Big Mom shows up.
Basically,
I could see
they,
it
they, they,
happening.
they finish off and then they see the Big Mom, the Queen Chantier in the distance on the horizon. It's like, okay, gotta go.
yeah, I could see that getting old. But that does sound interesting.
Yeah, I could totally see it happening.
But Kaido's story definitely is gotta come to a close this arc.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like it. Like, Kaido can't just stick around in Wano. Like, that can't be how this ends for him, right?
Yeah, he has to be dethroned somehow, defeated, put into a place where he's not going to be a continuous threat.
Right.
Once again, I don't believe he's going to die. So how
No.
does that happen with one of the most dangerous living creatures?
Okay, so I know like we want to talk in alphabetical order, but like should we just also just transition into Kaido with this one?
Yeah.
Talk about
Yes.
Kaido.
Might as well.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so my take, of course, I like what Levi was talking about, but I could also see one thing where, in the previous parts of the story, Luffy could just destroy people's dreams, and it would be fine, and he can just keep going. We can throw them into the prisons, or they just not really relevant anymore. But who knows? Maybe this time Luffy's actually, granting dreams to characters who are just too strong to just, throw out of the story because it's convenient. And then who knows? Maybe he finally gets, Big Mom the tea party she's always wanted with all the races. Or somehow with Kaido, he finally facilitates the kind of death that Kaido's always wanted. Maybe not kill Kaido directly, but who knows? Maybe Luffy will be the one. Maybe this war that will, Kaido would want to die and will be started because of Luffy or something like that. Right, that way you can kind of satiate these characters. At least these two. Blackbeard. I'm sorry.
Blackbeard's
yeah.
always struck me as like an end of the story villain. So
Right.
it's not like we might not have to deal with the fallout of Blackbeard. Also, Blackbeard doesn't seem like a force of nature like the others do, even though he literally is at this point.
Yeah.
Like we've seen Blackbeard get hurt so many times.
Right.
But we have never seen Big Mom. The only person who has ever hurt Big Mom in the story is Big Mom, and that's because she cut her knees.
Yeah.
And Kaido, we've seen people like scratch his skin, but the only person who's actually hurt him so far is Odin.
Yeah.
So they're very different from Blackbeard. I feel like Blackbeard can get taken down the way that we've seen Doflamingo or Don Krieg get taken down.
Yeah.
As strange as that sounds.
Well, and also Blackbeard doesn't have like a whole empire. He pretty much just does. Does he own? I guess does he own any islands? I can't even remember. I know he has his 10.
Yeah, he took he started taking Whitebeard's territory.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's still just not on that level. I'm in agreement with you.
But yeah, he feels like a more like endable threat.
I think I've mentioned this before, but like I think like we could see Kaido like sort of giving up on that on this dream of like finding like of dying in like that glorious way, and he'll have to like he'll kind of come to terms with the fact that he doesn't really have to die that sort of way, and he can just and like he'll just kind of go off on a farm somewhere, kind of like Farmer Thanos at the end of Infinity War, and just kind of chill out there for the rest of his life,
I could kind of see it happening.
Or what if? Because here's the thing: he's always talking about wanting to die gloriously, but we don't know anything about his past. Big Mom's actions didn't all really line up with each other until we got to see her full flashback. We got to see where she's coming from.
Right.
Maybe we are going to get one of those for Kaido, and then we will see what he might have a reason to live for. And like KZ said, what if Luffy gives him that?
Also, another thing, the reason I came up with that that sort of idea earlier is that like I think one cool theme that I think One Piece could or maybe should introduce is like the idea that maybe it's sometimes okay to give up on a dream. Maybe maybe you find something. Maybe you just happen to find something that's better than your dream. Sometimes you're like it's just a real life thing that like not everybody gets to achieve their dreams, but some people find something worse, but some people find something better than what they ever could have dreamed for.
Yeah, I think that would be a really great one.
I think that'd be a really cool thing to touch upon in the story. But yeah,
that's true. Because normally we only ever see characters who either achieve their dreams or kind of not achieve it so they kind of have this little regret and then they pass on their will, almost something like that. But to
Or
actually
they give
see
up.
something where it's like, yeah, you fought for your dream, you're willing to die for it, but you know, maybe there's something else that's better for you. Who knows? I like that.
Yeah.
I really-
I've been coming up with stories like with a similar sort of thing too. So
So, on the topic of Kaido, I'm not in the camp that he's a dragon with a Hito fruit. I'm in the camp that
me neither.
he's a
Me
dude
neither.
with a dragon fruit.
I think the best camp is the camp that Kaido's a poneglyph.
I've seen that thing.
Like, I don't know, I feel like I've just been trying to make jokes. I like to slip that in just because it's the problem is that it sounds so ridiculous, but the problem is that it's like, how do you say that that's wrong, pointing
Right,
to
right,
something
you-
actually
right,
in
you
the
can't.
story? So that I think that's what's so funny.
I've seen the same thing about Shanks being a road poneglyph. His hair.
Yeah,
being
exactly.
like
Actually, I was gonna say that Kaido could be a road poneglyph because Law went downstairs and he didn't find it. So I was like, you see, it's proof.
Oh my god.
That's because it's Kaido.
Oh my god.
Speaking of
Or
which,
like maybe,
if you're Kaido, where do you hide it? Because, like, now that we have that question, because originally we were just like, well, we got to go to Onigashima and we'll see it there.
maybe
But-
there's a basement in Onigashima, and it's like that's like he has it hidden. Well, you know, Law went to like some kind of basement area, but what if that was only the esophagus? What if that
So
was
it's
like,
like-
you know, Onigashima is a
this
big
is like-
skull. So what if Law went down to the basement, and the basement is like the
Whoa.
esophagus, but there's like even a sub basement under the basement, and that's the stomach, and that's where the road poneglyph is.
Yeah.
We
So
got the
yeah,
whole
actually,
skeleton down there.
I was
Right,
thinking
right.
that either it may be on. I think there were three places I was thinking, right? So either easy one is that it's not actually at the bottom; it's on the top, and that's why Law is gonna have to go to the top and arrive with Luffy and Kid. Two, it could be, who knows, maybe it's somewhere on the Wano mainland, and you know, it's maybe the red one is just really important to the people of Wano, and Kaido is just like, well, no one's gonna attack Wano anyway, so I don't really need to
you just leave
have
it
it
there.
right next
Okay.
to me, right? So maybe it's on the mainland somewhere hidden.
I disagree
And-
with that one, and I'll say it after you say your third one.
And then maybe the last one is a bit similar to what you were saying with your esophagus, but not really saying esophagus or stomach, but rather it's, who knows, down there, maybe near the port, like the one that's under the waterfall if you go into one, or maybe it's down there.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm going to say it's definitely not the second option. Because once you get to Lodestar, which we can presume that all of the emperors have done, you get to see that the road poneglyphs are important to finding the One Piece. So he would
Yeah.
recognize that the red one is something important.
Yeah,
It
no,
seems
no.
to be that everybody seems to have a grasp that these are important for finding the One Piece, even if they don't know what they say or how to use them. Something at Lodestar tells you pretty clear, you need these things to find One Piece.
Exactly. No. What I was trying to say is that when I said that he's all right with it being there, it's more like what he alluded to where he says Wano is a natural fortress. So he's not really worried about anyone stealing it because the people who can, if someone comes in, then he's ready to attack, then he can, you know, say, keep it safe. But at the same time, like the people who are currently in Wano, they're not really a threat to stealing the red poneglyph.
The main thing though is what we know is Oda is holding this back up from us time and time again because he's waiting to give us something shocking. He loves it. He loves when
Oh,
he
yeah.
can do something that's just like, okay, well that's shocking, and make us, you know, do what we're doing now. So we have to think it's not going to be something, especially since he's faked out the characters twice. Now, obviously, we weren't expecting to get it this early, but he's faked out the characters looking for it twice. So it's going to be somewhere big. It's going to be something that makes us go, whoa, because he's been planning it for a while now, clearly.
Kaido is a
So
poneglyph.
I think anything that doesn't make you go, oh man, that would be a great one, is probably not going to be where he's stashing it.
That's true.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
And I think the biggest thing with this one is that if it's not in Onigashima, then it's just so confusing as to where it is.
Although I don't think it's the case, but it would be epic if we found out that there was a whole skeleton down there and it was somewhere in that.
Yeah.
I'm becoming more and more convinced that this is an actual skull and not a rock formation because when we see the cross section
Well, yeah.
from the top, we get to see like the teeth running along the side,
Yeah, I never thought it was just I never thought it was a rock formation, not a natural one at the very least. You know, it would have to have been like sculpted by, like if it had to be made of stone, then it would have to be sculpted by someone, and even then you would have to have like a really interesting and crazy explanation for like how and why someone would sculpt something so big. You know.
Oh, well, I mean, if I was a crazy dragon emperor, I would want something insane like that too. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
and it is the land of stonecutters, so. But I'm still totally in. This is a skull of some kind of creature that is so much bigger than anything we've seen in this world by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? This is just, I don't know. This is just me shooting in the dark. Completely
Go
theory off the top of my head. Don't have anything to follow it up with. What if Kaido found a way to destroy it? And, like, he reveals that he just destroyed it because he doesn't care.
Oh, gone, reduced.
It's
to
just
atoms.
gone.
He used a poneglyph. He used another poneglyph to destroy the poneglyph. He smashed two poneglyphs together and they both broke.
Yeah.
I suppose if anyone could destroy a poneglyph, it'd be someone from the land that made them.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is also true. Dang.
And then
So
maybe
what do
they'd
you
have to,
think he
like, go
has-
back to Rayleigh or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
To figure it.
You think they have rubbings
seen
of
it.
that? He would still have to have rubbings of them somewhere, right?
That's also true, yeah.
Nami's navigational skills are so great, she'll find it with 3 poneglyphs.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
That's all you need.
In theory, you could sort of triangulate it to narrow it down to a few different spots with 3.
Right.
That's true.
Right. And if you have 3, and that actually sounds a little bit more fun because you get to explore more islands, before you get to Laptail. If you do it with 3.
Yeah.
And,
One Piece is not ending
more
in
fun
5
in like a
years.
meta story sense.
There's no way One Piece is ending in 5 years.
If that's true, then One Piece
that's
is
a good
not.
point.
Yeah. Yeah, we just get a whole dang, this isn't Laptail saga.
It's true.
Yeah.
Also, there's a few other interesting things with Kaido. His invincibility, particularly. Do you think it has? I mean, obviously, there's he's made out of poneglyph material theory, but we have seen him get damaged.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
definitely true.
And one thing a lot of people, I think, miss. I've seen some people mention it, but if he really wants to die, he could just jump in the water. He is definitely a devil fruit user.
That is true.
So the
Yes.
question is, why
Alright, here's
would
my
he
theory.
die from drowning?
He's made of oil. There it is. That's the explanation. He's made of oil, and that's why he can step
I
on.
did
That's
not
why he-
explain that.
That's why he can walk on the clouds too. It's not because it's not an inherent thing of his dragon form. He can just he's made of oil, so he can just walk on the clouds. The clouds are made of water, so he can float above the clouds. And so, bam, there you go.
Okay.
It might be a little more out there, but
I like that one. I think I'm gonna say that one in a video once.
All right, yeah, definitely.
I think it's just about the way he wants to die. That's what I think. One, that he wants to die, but probably also about the way he wants to die.
Yeah.
I think that's important. Just from what he witnessed with Odin is like, probably a big part of it. But-
because initially it seemed like he was down to dying. However, because he just jumped off a cliff once.
That is
But-
true.
Apparently, he intended to land there because him and Apu were going to, take down all those supernovas together. So that might not have been as just a random jumping off the cliff as it seemed.
Oh, so you think that jumping off that was a coordinated?
Yeah, I think it was coordinated. I think that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think. Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I think he tried. I think he. I don't think he was seriously trying to kill himself there. I think it more seemed that way because that was our introduction to Kaido. And I mean, jumping off a sky island is not something you do for fun. But I think that it was coordinated with Apu, that he knew where they were. But I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like he's doing it. It's kind of like if you became invincible, right? And I don't know. For example, this is why it seems very possible, or why there's a huge bunch of people who think that the immortality surgery was performed on him, right? If you one day became invincible, the first thing you're going to do is test, am I invincible, right? I don't know, maybe you start with something small, maybe you try to cut yourself, or you try to see, then once you've kind of known that you're invincible, right, you don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
You just do crazy stuff. I mean, the best example I can give for us, well, regular people who are not invincible, is kind of like sometimes when you're tired and you just fall onto your bed. Nothing's going to happen if you fall onto your bed. So I think it's a bit similar with Kaido, where he just kind of just fell off. He's just like, because I can. I'm not going to die. So he can, then he fell, then he's just like, and I think what shocked him when he fell is that just how little that did to him. To the point where he's just like, wow, dying is really hard.
That makes sense. I guess, yeah.
Can we talk about Yamato? Oh, go ahead.
Sure, yeah, go ahead. We can talk about Yamato.
Don't listen too closely, Smizzle. Don't break your concentration.
Okay, sorry. Before we get to Smizzle, before we get to Yamato, because that's a whole other discussion. Just a pre-discussion to that. It's like about Kaido and I don't know his relationship with either with the Rocks or maybe even with the commanders, because it seems like everyone else in the Beast Pirates, Kaido's just like, yeah, whatever. Tobiropo don't really even ever see him. And so he's just kind of like, don't really care about everyone else. Even the one time where they showed him Luffy and Law's bounty, I think, he knocked the two guys out. So, but then when he came to Jack, he's just like, you're like one of my hand-picked men. He seemed to care a bit more there. And also the fact that, Jack's been with Kaido since Jack was 8 years old. I think that's the youngest pirate we know in the story. Someone who's 8 years old, that's a pirate.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not true. The youngest one's probably Dellinger.
Oh, wait, how young was he?
They found him as a baby.
Okay.
With him.
Okay, yeah. Dellinger's probably the youngest, but yeah, 8 years old still is pretty young to join up someone as a pirate. So
I'd like to know that story actually before this.
Just that relationship there, especially, and I think it's a bit more interesting for me because they say Kaido runs a meritocracy. What place does an 8-year-old have in a meritocracy?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I feel like Jack would be very like I don't know, kind of like almost sort of like Ace, like where he's like he's very brash and he's always trying to like prove his worth or whatever, always try to fight people. That's just my idea though. But at the same time, that doesn't make any sense because like I feel like Jack is relatively more meek around his peers, around King and Queen specifically. He's like more meek around them than you might think. Maybe
they bully him.
Do you think he was bullied a lot or something? I don't
know. By them specifically.
Again, making it seem like that whole thing where it's like they're really close with Kaido. Once again, because Jack, when he finally met King and Queen, almost seems like page 1 when he finally met Ulti. Met up with Ulti. Where it's like, these guys were like talking like they were so big before, but now it seems like they're being belittled so much by their peers.
Maybe the fact that they go out and like they talk so big and everything, they showboat so much is like a coping mechanism for just how poorly they're treated within their own ranks.
Yeah. But I think one thought that I entertained, of course, like when we find out Kaido's past and everything that happened to him, I would like Oda just to insert, I don't know, even if it's a couple of panels, just insert how Kaido met Jack at some point and how that went down.
Actually, we need to see all three because the three of them have so much in the way of fascinating backstory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
King, Queen.
Yeah,
King.
Yeah.
Why is he wearing an Impel Down uniform? One.
I don't know if it's Impel Down uniform though.
It looks almost exactly like it. Yeah. It has the same little cuff links, or I guess collar links. It has the buttons.
Yeah, I see the similarities though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is he?
Right.
That is the big question.
And what's the fire on him? And
I don't
what
think
did
he's
Big
a
Mom mean when
typical.
she said,
He's not
they're
a
almost
typical
extinct.
Bilkin or Skypean, because the fire for one, and for two, Big Mom recently had a run-in with Rouge, so
we don't know, we don't know for certain if he's like even a sky person or something, but that's just our best guess. And yeah.
But I think, I think that one other thing that when we see Kaido's backstory, I don't know. Because I mentioned before that I thought Kaido was really young back during the Rocks Pirates, I feel like to some extent that even though Kaido was young on the Rocks Pirates, where it's like, they talked about people in Rock Pirates killing each other, and just like why Kaido would join that. To some extent, I feel like Rocks probably saw, I don't know, whatever promise there was in Kaido. Maybe Kaido was indestructible back then, and Rocks saw like this is gonna be like he's gonna be a great asset when he's older, and so he recruited Kaido as like join my crew. Or maybe Kaido could turn to a dragon back then, and so Rocks was just like join my crew.
Okay,
Dragon, that would be
yeah.
great. I think maybe there might have been a similarity with Jack, where Kaido probably saw something about Jack, and he's just like, yeah, the Beast Pirates could use someone like this when he gets older, so join my crew. Or something like that.
Real quick, how old is Jack now? Is he
28. He's as old as
28.
Momonosuke would have been.
okay? Yeah, so that would have been long after the Rocks Pirates broke up. He would have had his
Exactly.
crew for a while.
Literally.
I thought it was 28.
Back 20 years ago, Jack was 8 years old, Yamato was 8 years old, Momo was 8 years old.
Interesting.
Jack is a son
Yeah,
Kaido never
that
had.
is interesting. Yeah. Wow. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I feel. Do you think there might be some kind of dynamic between Jack and Yamato? I would
would've
like that.
actually liked to see
Yeah,
that.
I would. Yeah, I would really like to see that. I would like to see like just a random scene where Jack and Yamato like they come like they are somehow end up in the same room, and they're just like, oh hey, and they like start making this. They start talking like they're actually like friends or something. I think Jack really just needs a friend, to be honest.
If we see a flashback, that's probably the only chance, because Jack's down for the count right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, yeah, I don't know. What if? Oh, okay. Here's something crazy. Here's me going crazy again. All right. Yamato. She comes across Jack, and she sees that Jack is like sprawled out on the ground. Also, actually, we'll get into the. No, never mind. Anyway, Yamato comes across Jack, and like she sees him like sprawled out on the ground or whatever, or maybe she sees him like being carried off on a stretcher or something. He's like, "Oh no, Jack, what happened?" And then like he's like explaining he got beat up by the scabbards or whatever. And then, like she said, I don't know, she said something, and like she's like trying to give him words of encouragement, something that like really shows that they're actually really close. And then she actually convinces him to join Luffy's alliance. Actually, no, I wouldn't like that. Never mind. Jack has done too much.
Or imagine that happens, and then she sees him on the ground, and she laughs at him. It's like, you thought it was funny all those years when Kaido used to beat me up. Now see how it feels.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's tough. Yeah, dang.
I do wonder what level of isolation Yamato has, because clearly she's not like buddies with any of the Flying Six.
Yeah.
Although they all seem like they interact with her on a somewhat frequent basis because of how they talk to her now. I've been using her. I hope that nobody who's listening gets offended, because it really we can't. So it's semantics with Yamato.
It's very ambiguous. So we know that Yamato refers to I'll say themself, and then I'll get to why I think why I call her she. But anyway. So Yamato refers to themself as boku. That is like a very common a young boy's way to refer to themselves, right? And so But we also know that, and like, when he was introduced, Kaido was saying, "Where is my son?" But later, a couple chapters after Yamato was first introduced, we had an info box with Yamato's name, specifying that it was Kaido's daughter. It was daughter, and the word being used was musume, which specifically means daughter. Whereas I think there is another word. I can't. It's not quite coming to me there, but I'm pretty sure there is another word that could have specified child. Yeah, musuko means son, but you could have. But there could have also. There's also another word I can't remember, but like there, you could have used a word that means like something that's a little bit more
Child.
Yeah, that could have meant child. Basically, what I'm saying. Yeah, could have meant child. But it specifies daughter. So yeah, musume. That denotes that means daughter. So like. I think, according to, the narrator or the info box, I just call her she. We have, it's not like Yamato like even straight up refers to like it's not like Yamato has straight up done anything to say that, oh, I am a man. It's not like Yamato has said I am a man. She's saying I am Odin, or like trying to be like Odin.
Kiku or something who identifies as a woman.
As a woman. Like, definitely.
She just identifies as Odin.
Right, she identifies as Odin. Which is interesting because I'm pretty sure Odin did not refer to himself as Boku. It was either Sesha or Ore, but I didn't read the Japanese version because I don't... Yeah, anyways. So...
Yeah, so that... Yeah, I kind of see...
It's an enigma. I think that it's possible that, like, Kaido kind of forced, the identity of a son onto her, which is like, that's pretty messed up when you think about it. But like,
well, isn't Yamato pretty exclusively a boy's name in Japanese?
I've never, I haven't looked this up. So I wouldn't know. But Yamato, it is like, the only thing I know about the name Yamato is like it was used like as an old like a Japanese like ship or naval ship or something, and I think there was like this one manga called like Space Battleship Yamato, but I don't know what it actually means.
Yeah, so apparently there can be girls named Yamato, but it's almost it's kind of like calling your son Kim, I think.
Yeah.
In an English speaking country, it's gonna be weird.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, I have met someone named a guy named Kim. Used to go to my school.
It happens, but it's people are gonna be like, "Hey, wait, that's a girl's name."
Yeah.
That is the first reaction.
So I think that's the case with Yamato in Japanese, based on what I quickly Googled just this last moment.
Okay.
But yeah, so it seems like perhaps before even the whole Odin situation that Kaido was like, I want a son, and they're like, well, you got a daughter, and he's like, nope, I got a son.
That would make sense, and that would make for an interesting character arc where it's all about. I've been saying this for a while, or at least maybe not on here, but on at least on like YouTube comment sections and Reddit and stuff. But like, I think that like this whole like Yamato's whole arc is about coming into like becoming her own person, and like part of that will have to be like her, putting her foot down and like declaring herself as a woman, which is like I don't know, maybe not that exactly, but like yeah, I think like maybe it'll be more clear later on that Yamato is a woman.
Yeah, but whatever it's going to be is she's going to have to at some point refuse what titles have been thrust on her and refuse and forget the whole Odin thing, because Luffy, if Luffy's morality doesn't allow it, it's something Oda is going to change in the story if it's a good character.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
And Luffy's like, hey, that's not okay, you can't do that. So
right.
If Luffy says it goes, because he's the king of pirates.
Actually, so I'll mention this quickly because I can also shout out 1-1 and the video that he made, talking about Kaido's origins, because he made a video, and in his video he literally talked about almost everything that I was going to make a video of, which I was planning to make a video of. So apparently, And he was talking about Kaido's past and everything that might have happened to him beforehand. And his thought, and my thinking as well, is that Kaido used to be just a regular strong person, not particularly like invincible or like the way he is now, but at some point was probably captured by the world government, experiments on him. That's probably why Vegapunk was able to make the dragons that he did that we saw in Punk Hazard, and also why he could make the devil fruit was because of Kaido. And then that Kaido might have been part of the original gigantification project which was started. So maybe, that's where Kaido comes from, the numbers come from, where maybe, what are they called? The Yeri brothers come from. Maybe from that batch that happened a long time ago.
Ooh, and then, you know what? That actually opens up another possibility. If you think about it, when did he recruit Queen, an ally, potentially, of Vegapunk?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Actually, that actually adds. But which is why Kaido is so strong, because he added him, and also makes sense with that they were Vegapunk's was the one who kind of made the numbers, because if you look at the numbers and the kids on Punk Hazard, then you notice with the kids they're always addicted to sweets, they're growing uncontrollably, and they can't think well. The numbers, they're addicted to alcohol, they grow like really large, and they can't think properly. So there's that kind of similarity where it's kind of like Caesar's kind of repeating some of the same experiments that Vegapunk did, but that's why Vegapunk is so much ahead, because he already failed at this decades before and he's moved on to something else. But then why he owes Big Mom a debt is because Big Mom is the one who actually got him out of there. And so, if it wasn't for Big Mom, Kaido would be as smart as Hacha. So that is the thought, essentially.
So yeah, it looks like Waddles has left the conversation, but we'll get back to him.
Yeah.
I guess like it makes sense for Kaido to have like maybe he feels for them, like maybe like I don't know, maybe do you think like he might have like grown up with the numbers? That is kind of weird, because I feel like the numbers are kind of like a kind of a little bit of an afterthought compared to, say, the Toby Roppo and the what do you call them? And the calamities. Wow. Okay. So they feel a little bit more like an afterthought and less like, Kaido's personal people he likes to get chummy with, So I'm not sure if I can say with very much confidence that like he grew up with the numbers, but maybe he like found them, or like he either knew about them maybe when he was younger, like if we're going with the whole Vegapunk theory, he either knew about them, or maybe like while he was sailing, he kind of came back around to Punk Hazard and he found the numbers. He was like, okay, I'm gonna take these guys in, because that's kind of sad, I don't know.
I don't think he has that much sympathy towards his crew. I think he takes in anybody who seems interesting, basically. Like we see, he just is like, he doesn't. I mean, obviously there are members of the crew he cares about. Like he definitely cares about the top, the calamities, and he seems to have something of a relationship with the Flying Six. Mm-hmm. But most of the people, he's just like, okay, here, all you guys eat these fruits so you can be on my crew, and then they are all suffering, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. They're just his now. They're his toys, his playthings, and his crew.
Cards.
Just so
his
cards, yeah. Oh, that's good. I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
No, I think that he might. I mean, as far as relationship with the numbers, I don't think that maybe they grew up together or anything like that. But I mean, of course, in the thought of this theory and following everything that I was saying, that I think he may have just been there, with them in that place, but probably not really had much interaction. Maybe he came, later on, and they were there beforehand. They were the batch that failed beforehand, and then he kind of just came afterwards, and then his thing was disrupted, and he saw them, and he's kind of like, these are interesting people. If the government doesn't want them, I'll take them, and then just bought them from the government. Because he's just like, hey, strong guys. And then maybe the Yeri brothers were a bit too intelligent for that, so they're like, nope, we're going on our own way.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah. So, if we're going with the whole Vegapunk theory, let's just I want to add in the idea that maybe like the horns, the fact that he has horns, that also comes from his experimentation. Is that what we were gonna? Is that what you were gonna get?
Yeah,
I'm personally of the theory now. I like this theory a lot. The whole him having something to do with what you guys are saying, but also I've always been of the theory that he's just a descendant of those, and enough generations of breeding with other races has made him small.
Yeah. But what other races?
He's so small now.
You say other races, but like what other races? Just humans, or
giants, humans, minks.
Yeah, maybe a mink. I don't know, but like.
Random side note.
Terrifying. Yeah.
I finally know why Mary looks the way he does. He's half mink.
Oh,
who?
Do we know that for sure?
Wait.
No,
who is this?
Mary,
Kai's
the guy
butler.
the guy who gave the Straw Hats the going Mary.
Oh,
Yeah, that's crazy. That would make a lot of sense. Crossbreeding in One Piece is kind of a weird, awkward thing to think about, to be honest, in my opinion. But
even for Big Mom, she doesn't want any of the mink kids apparently.
Oh, she doesn't have any mink kids.
oh really?
Or maybe that's just one of the races.
I mean, maybe the minks just know, like, stay away from Big Mom.
Maybe, so she said that, how many races were there that she said that she doesn't have kids of yet? Or she doesn't have people in Totland?
No,
I don't know. No.
said
She's only talking about
missing
races
three.
that are not in Totland, not that
Okay.
she doesn't have kids with.
Okay. But yeah, she doesn't have any, does she, is our minks part of that, group? Oh wait, no, because that's...
Oh, yeah, there's...
She's got what's his
there's
name? Sicilian, right? And...
No,
No.
Peckhams.
Peckhams. Yeah,
Peckhams.
wow, okay, yeah. Peckhams.
There's a few other...
I mean,
we've
they're
seen a
both
few
lions,
other minks
so-
wandering around. We saw, like, a bull, I think, once, and, I can't remember what animal he was, but the one that, spotted Pedro and recognized him.
Okay, sorry, this is a bit unrelated to, Big Mom, but, like, in the last chapter, the cover page, 996, was Blackbeard brushing his teeth with a hippo. Now, normally minks have fur. What is that hippo?
A hippo. He's just
If it's not a mink,
He's just a
it's a hippo with clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just overthought it. I was just like, wait,
Yeah.
what is this hippo then? Is this a devil fruit user?
No,
is this a
I'm pretty sure
mink?
it's a hippo. Also, hippos are mammals, and like minks are just mammals, right? So, I mean, hippos do have furs, right? They do have a little bit of fur, but it's not like it's not all.
Yeah,
all
I mean,
all
I
over.
think we've seen pig minks, I think, if I'm not mistaken, so hippos are a possibility.
Okay.
Maybe we might have seen them even. Let me see if I can find any. I know we've seen some less furry boys. Because I could have sworn we saw a pig, but I could be wrong.
I don't know, but hippos are technically mammals anyway, and minks are all mammals, right? Like it's not like we've seen a bird mink or like a lizard mink or anything. So
Yeah, actually, Wanda clarified that when they were eating meat, and they were like, okay, yeah, we have meat, but we only eat non-mammal creatures. Like, we eat lizards, and we eat
snakes and weird things.
fish. And, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Coming back to the conversation we were talking about earlier, I think that what Levi was talking about with, what's his name, Kaido being, possibly being, half-breed or whatever from other races, could also tie in with this one, because you could say that that's another reason that, Kaido is taken, because, he's an interesting race, but also he's a dragon. And who knows, maybe with Kaido there was Black Maria there. And so Black Maria is always just attached to Kaido, but Kaido doesn't really care about Black Maria. So, yeah. That's why Black Maria is also big, but just another way to make it fit together.
Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, it's kind of it's kind of a weird thing. What if like Kaido is like a mix of like not just humans, but like a bunch of different races. That I kind of like that idea. No real evidence to support it or anything, but I like the idea that
Yeah,
maybe he's a bunch of
I'd
things.
like that.
Maybe like he's like 1/16th fish man, and like maybe that's why he can't drown himself. I don't know. But
I'd like that only because like it would just make the title of strongest creature
Yeah, it
more
would
interesting
make-
because
yeah, a
he
lot
is
more
every race, so
Yeah.
he's the strongest of all.
Yeah, I guess that's another explanation
what if-
for why drowning isn't on
what
the
if he
table.
actually is like? What if he's actually is like 1/64th cow mink or gorilla mink, or maybe like he's like one person who was half cow mink. They got together with someone who was half gorilla mink, and they had another one of Kaido's ancestors, and so like that would make Yamato's insult towards Kaido, calling him a cow gorilla, like actually have some truth to it.
I was wondering where this was going.
Yeah, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, I like that idea.
Anything more on Kaido?
He's just like a giant mutt, I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't think so. Well, I don't know. You guys think he's the strongest Yonko? I've seen people say that. But I think people are only saying that because he's so relevant right now, right?
We did have that box saying that he's considered the strongest creature in the world.
That is true.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah.
I think there's a fairly strong case for the idea that he is physically
Yeah, the strongest.
the strongest of the four. Whether or not he's actually got the most influence or abilities, but like maybe punches harder, lasts longer in a one-on-one than the other four would.
I think it is. One, just what we've said, like his title. I mean, no one. Mihawk is the strongest swordsman. No one ever says, "Oh yeah, but is he really the strongest swordsman?" Right? Everyone's just like, "He is."
Yeah.
It said he is, so he is. But I also think that it also just kind of makes sense otherwise, right? That if let's say Kaido is not the strongest, right? We're assuming Kaido is not. Maybe another Yonko is stronger than him, right? Or maybe someone like I don't know, Blackbeard will become stronger than Kaido. Maybe he's not right now, but maybe Blackbeard becomes stronger than Kaido. Then what you were saying in the story, right, is that Luffy's gonna need how much help to beat Kaido now, but then in the not too far future, he's gonna beat someone stronger than Kaido 1-on-1.
Yeah. I mean, we never really said.
That's
nobody
why- that's
ever
why
really
it-
said Blackbeard would fight Luffy 1-on-1, but it would make the most sense to me anyway.
Yeah, that's why for me it's kind of like it makes sense that Kaido is the strongest, so that if we take him down here and then Luffy fights someone 1-on-1, later on in the series, maybe closer to the end, then it's kind of like I don't know, it's just a bit more believable as far as Luffy getting stronger. That even though he's fighting this like really top tier character 1-on-1, they're weaker than Kaido, so it makes sense that Luffy can fight them and win against them when he needed so much help before.
Right. So yeah.
I think you made a video about that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. I just didn't want to keep saying I made a video about this.
I'll plug you this time.
Thank you.
Go check out King
Speaking of
Casey's
which-
video on this
Speaking
topic.
of which, Levi, when's the next video from you? I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, we've been running into some health problems and stuff, so
Oh,
we are going to be releasing a video next week, but we did miss a couple weeks there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I hope you guys are doing okay. Anyway.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're everything's okay now.
All right. Yeah. But anyway.
I think, sorry. The last thing I want to say about Kaido is not really about Kaido, but about Luffy and Kaido, is that I think that if anyone else was the main character, especially me, if I was Luffy and I came to Wano, I would just join Kaido for a bit, join the Beast Pirates for a bit, only because if Luffy joined Kaido for a bit, right, and the Straw Hats kind of just assimilate into the Beast Pirates for a while, then if Big Mom came to take Luffy's head, then Luffy would be in the Beast Pirates, and you can't, and Luffy would be quite high ranking in the Beast Pirates, we'd imagine, because of how strong he is. You can't really just go and kill one of the strong members of the Beast Pirates without starting a war with the Beast Pirates.
Okay.
So for at least for a while, until you guys can stand on your own, you can have the protection of the Beast Pirates. At least that's me, if I was
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's pretty obvious like why Luffy wouldn't do something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense. All right.
Yeah, I think that's what most pirate crews, when they enter the new world, they usually pick, instead of picking a route at the beginning, they just pick a Yonko to fall under. It's only the truly rebellious ones that stick out.
Yeah. Man, we've been
That's
at this
true.
for a while. I don't want to speed through anything, but like, you guys want to move on to like, man, we're going pretty out of order from where we were. But you guys want to move on to Whitebeard,
Oh yeah.
and maybe after that we do Blackbeard, then Shanks. I don't know, but yeah,
Okay.
Whitebeard. I think Whitebeard is probably. I might have said this about Big Mom, but Whitebeard might be like the Yonko we know most about, but actually no, maybe not, because like. Yeah, we don't know the most. Yeah, Big Mom is still probably the Whitebeard. I mean, the Yonko we know most about, because like, with Whitebeard, we don't know anything about his childhood. We have that one picture where Oda drew him as a child, and he had he was just kind of sitting there with a pipe like in his hand. He had like a shirt that had the not the katakana, the kanji for power, but like, and he looked like he might have been pretty poor. And we know that like he had this little village. He was at this little village. I forgot what it was called, Sphinx Island or something like that, right?
Sphinx Island.
Sphinx
yeah.
Village, something like that. But yeah, we don't really know any like of those little details, and it's possible we
About
probably
how he came about.
yeah, and it's possible we just might never know, because like I feel like his personal relevance in the story is kind of long past Loki, because like we had Marineford, all of Marineford that showed about like his early pirate life, and it showed about how and we're now getting stuff about the Rocks crew, and we're probably going to get more stuff about how his experience in that crew, and what exactly is he going to be up to, like, or what exactly was he up to back then, I guess we could like find out like what exactly, how exactly did he get his why exactly did he want a family so bad? And I guess was that what he was looking for when he joined the Rocks crew? I don't know.
Yeah, I like the theory that it has something to do with the son that he, like, Weevil. I think it was one of you guys that said it.
In the Warlords video.
Warlords. That maybe the mom of Weevil kind of like stole that son away, and then he was like, "Well, I want a family now because I thought I was gonna have a son, and guess not."
Oh, what if he
so
was
he
a
went
simp?
looking for a family.
What if he like?
Although,
what if he thought he was in love? What if he really thought he was in love with Bakin? And like, and they actually got married and had children, but like Bakin was only using him for some reason or another. And then like she left him, she dropped him, and she took the kid. And then he was like, "Dang, wow," for a while.
Instead of Karen took the kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Took the kid. So actually, now that I think about it, though, that theory doesn't necessarily hold water, because when we saw Whitebeard as a young man, he was on a ship, and his crewmates were making fun of him. Not his subordinates, his crewmates were making fun of the idea that he was looking for a family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And that
Was
the crew he was part of,
yeah.
that crew that was making fun of him was probably the Rocks pirates.
yeah.
And that is 5 years before the birth of Weevil.
I mean, you
At
could still
least.
say he's like one of those like he's one of those like hopeless romantic types, or he was one of those hopeless romantic types who wanted, like, he thought he would be able to settle down and like have a kid, like, settle down with his wife and a kid, and like, I don't know, it's still stupid. I don't know. Yeah, no matter how much I try to rationalize it, it's still stupid. But there you go.
I definitely want to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's like a bit like Big Mom in that respect, where he wanted, the way Big Mom is kind of like romantic, to like have everyone sit at the same table, happy and all that kind of stuff. Maybe because of the way Sphinx Island used to be when Whitebeard was younger, all torn up, no one was happy, kind of stuff. Maybe he also had like maybe a similar dream to have this family that was happy, that could be free and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? And then maybe that kind of maybe add the Weevil plot line in a bit, and then there you go. Whitebeard actually wants, family and sons.
It's not so bad.
Yeah. I do hope we get to learn that. Maybe when we get more data on the Rocks pirates because oh my goodness, do we need to know what happened with them?
Okay, the Rocks pirates make no sense, right? That battle by all metrics, like Roger and Garp should have lost that by all metrics.
Yes.
I mean,
so
Like I know a
something-
lot of people say that Whitebeard changed sides, but I believe even if Whitebeard changed sides, they still should have lost that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it just
because
depends.
apparently, if Rocks must have been at least an equal to these people for them to have any, even be like, okay, well, you can be the captain even though we're going to do our own thing. Otherwise, they'd be like, well, no, I'm the captain. So he must have been at least an equal with these pirates, these monsters of pirates. And Big Mom was a monster who could slay giants at like the age of 6. So
Exactly.
That's right. Like I was about to
So,
say, maybe they were
even if-
weaker, but like, yeah, I just remember how strong Big Mom was when she was young. But yeah, it's crazy.
Exactly. That's why I said even if we say Whitebeard switch sides, even if I don't know, maybe Kaido is really young and weak, Roger still should have lost.
yeah, because
So
there's
I
still
wanna just
people
see
like
what happened.
Shiki. Shiki
Exactly.
is canonically.
It took
not even from the movie,
both Garp
canonically-
and Sengoku to bring down Shiki.
Yeah.
That's true.
And we have several other beasts that were on that
Yeah.
crew that we haven't even gotten to see.
Yeah, Silver
Axe
Yeah,
and
Wang Ji, Captain John.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's possible they weren't like quite as strong because they were kind of mentioned. It feels to me like they were mentioned a little bit more offhand, and just the fact that we've never like heard of we never heard of those names, but we had heard of like Shiki and some of these other people. Even
We've
though
heard
they were
of
put out
Captain John.
Yeah, we heard of Shiki. Yeah, we have heard of Captain John, but like when we hear about Captain John, we don't hear about like how strong he was. We hear about how he was
Yeah.
a great pirate of some sort, and he left a great treasure of some sort.
I think it is a bit interesting, Captain John. I mean, we also saw his skeleton in
Yeah,
Thriller
we saw
Bark, but
his zombie form in Thriller Bark.
just how Captain John's treasure is, one of the most well-known treasures after the One Piece.
Right,
So
apparently.
it's like, what did this guy have?
Right.
Yeah.
What did this guy achieve? But yeah,
What if it's like a 0 piece or something?
I do wonder, do you guys think we'll get an introduction to Silver Axe and
Wang Ji.
guy
If
whose
we
name
get
I
if we get a
cannot
Rocks
remember.
Pirates back flashback, then definitely. But
Do you think these two are still around? They have to still be around.
I think that
still be around.
either,
Maybe not.
I don't know about Wang Ji.
Yeah.
Wang Ji we may see in a flashback, or he may be, maybe he's related to someone else who we might come across. Wang Ji also sounds a bit, Chinese. I think it's based off a Chinese.
Yeah,
pirate or
yeah, I'm
something
pretty
like
sure Chinese. Yeah,
Might
Wang
be.
Ji is a very.
Who knows?
Chinese.
Maybe, and we know like the Chinese people in the One Piece story are the Long Arm tribe, so maybe a Pooh. I don't know. Maybe Wang. I don't know. Either Wang Ji will be seen in a flashback, or he might be related to someone. I don't know if we'll actually see him. But for me, I think the most logical thing that makes sense as far as Silver Axe, and the most seamless way to fit it is that maybe was Gaban's title.
Yeah.
Scopper Gaban, because we've seen him use axes.
His
so
title?
maybe back then he was Silver Axe Scopper Gaban.
Interesting. Now, that's interesting.
be
I've never
very
thought about that, but I don't know. Because, like, I guess it's not impossible. We have, but did Silver, so, like, yeah, the great Silver Axe, like, he just, like, stopped being a subordinate on one crew and then just joined another. Also, I feel like if Oda wanted to reveal Silver Axe as Scopper Gaban, I feel like he would have just like I feel like it would have just made a lot more sense to just say Scopper Gaban. Like, why exactly would Oda play coy about and almost sort of imply
I don't know.
like, yeah, these would be two different people.
I mean, maybe if I don't know, maybe if that's because I thought about this when they said that, because of like the theories that the person who came with Marco to Wano is might be Scopper, right? So I was just like, if that's the case, then also kind of name dropping that the Silver Axe before, but also it also kind of makes sense why people don't just say Scopper Gaban, because a lot of people use titles, right? Even Rayleigh, they call
Straw
it the
Hat.
Dark King or Straw Hat. So I mean, I feel like it does make sense. I mean, and it is a good option, but I mean, I'm also fine with it being a completely different guy who had his own journey and has his own legend behind him.
All I know is that Oda knew we were going to flip out when we saw those two other names next to those huge names that are central to the story.
Right.
He knew we would be like waiting. he's not gonna not never bring them up.
Definitely. Yeah. There's a lot of very strange Scopper Gaban theories. I haven't seen a single one that seems sane to me, you know? But anyways.
Yeah, right? They're insane.
Right.
There's like... Oh.
It's too much. Scopper Gaban is on Raftel. I've seen one like that.
Anyways, next thing, we were talking about Whitebeard, right? Whitebeard. Even though we don't know very much about his early life, I feel like his story feels somewhat rather complete. Like with the Marineford, everything that happened, it feels like, you know, if we never got anything more about him, even though we probably will because of rocks and everything, even if we never got too much more about him, then I think I might be fine with that. What about you guys?
Same.
Yeah, I think so. I would be fine with that. Just because of, like, just the way the whole Marineford war played out.
Yeah.
And everything we got to see of him, essentially.
Yeah.
Even his speech at the end. I honestly think that Whitebeard might have been, like, a bit of a funny guy. Like, one of those guys who's really quiet, but, like, low-key, like, this guy cracks jokes half the time.
Right.
When you actually talk to him. Because I imagine... it's probably... I don't know how true it will probably end up being, depending on, you know, if we see a bit more of his character when he was younger. But I imagine that, you know, when Blackbeard came to the war, and then he shot Whitebeard, and then... they were kind of like, is he dead? Is he not dead? And then he gave his speech, you know, about, you know, where it's like, teach, it's not you. Yeah. But I imagine that in that moment where he was quiet, contemplating the fact that, you know, I'm about to die right now, I imagine that he prepared a speech. And for some reason, in his speech, he talked to Teach, he addressed Teach, and then he addressed the world government. And then he died with One Piece, the One Piece exists, you know, the classic... One Piece wa. And then he died, and then in that kind of like the afterthoughts, he kind of like addresses, you know, the rest of his crew, his sons. And I'm just like, well, when you're about to die, wouldn't you want to address your sons before you go? Like, isn't that really important? But for me, I think he's a bit funny because he thought it was so much more important to make Sengoku upset because he smiled before he said One Piece exists.
Yeah.
He looked at Sengoku and he smiled. He's like, this is going to annoy them. This is really going to annoy them. Then, so I feel like he may be one of those funny guys, but I think Whitebeard there's a bit more which we haven't seen.
Yeah, that's cool though. What about I don't know. I feel like we might be.
I want to talk more about Whitebeard. I do, but like I feel like if we talk too much about him, this video is going to be like 4.5 hours long.
Definitely. Yeah, that's how I feel as well.
Because I joined late, and my recording's already an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And we've only done 2.
Yeah. Well, 3. Well, Whitebeard would be 3.
Oh, this is the third one.
Yeah. Well, we aren't done Whitebeard. Whitebeard, we could go on for days about Whitebeard.
Right. But yes, let's. I guess we can.
Kind of way.
We can move on to
kind
Blackbeard.
of a. Yeah, kind of a segue into Blackbeard as well. I think that Blackbeard on Whitebeard's crew was before he kind of, you know, betrayed everyone on the crew and killed Thatch, turned in Ace, killed Whitebeard as well. I think that he was a bit underrated because I think earlier on we were trying to talk about a bit about, you know, how strong some of these top tier characters were. But I think what I was going to say earlier on then was that Blackbeard, even before, you know, when Ace joined and then they made Ace the head of 2nd Division, Ace was like, Blackbeard, why aren't you head of the 2nd Division? Like, you've been here longer, right? And I think that also, apart from being there longer, everyone knew that Blackbeard is competent. I mean, probably he did hold back just so, you know, it can be spring the surprise. But everyone knew that Blackbeard was at least competent enough to be one of the division commanders on Whitebeard's ship. So that plus 2 new devil fruits, that's crazy.
And 2 years of training, whatever he's been doing.
Exactly, and 2 years of training.
And, you know, I think one thing is that, like, Blackbeard, you know, from early on, while he was still on Whitebeard's crew, I think he was for some reason, we don't really know yet, but, like, for some reason he was laying low or, like, trying to keep himself underrated. Like, not letting people know how strong he was, really, or, like, what his goals were until, like, it was time to execute them.
Exactly.
I think that might also be the thing with now. Like, I feel like maybe the world thinks that he's weak right now, or not weak, but like weaker than the
Weaker
Yonko.
than the others.
Yeah, weaker than the other Yonko because his bounty is, I'd say, a pretty good chunk lower than the others, and he hasn't done too terribly much. Like, he has done some things. He's did the payback war, something to do with Bonnie, and some other, like, just a couple of, like, just a sort of a handful of things. But like, he's definitely been. Oh yeah, and the whole stuff he's been doing with stealing devil fruits and
And Whitebeard's territory.
but yeah, taking Whitebeard's territory.
Taking down the revolutionaries.
So yeah, never mind. He has been doing a lot actually. So, but yeah, it all feels like means to an end. It all feels like a means to an end. But what's interesting is, I guess, we just don't know what that end is. We don't really know what his plan is. I feel like we could get an inkling of what he was up to before Marineford, but now we really don't know. I don't know, at least.
Obviously, Oda's leading us to believe that his goal is to become Pirate King. But every time I see such an obvious, like, this is where we're going with the story, I'm always like, but is that where you're going with the story? I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But obviously,
I
think that this one might be a little more straightforward. Oda seems like because honestly, I think there's times to subvert expectations because it's better than what the fans could imagine. But then there's times that fans want something so bad, and you give it to them, that's just going to be like the best. And I think having a nice Blackbeard Pirates versus Straw Hat Pirates for the title of Pirate King kind of situation happening, one-on-one fights with the big Titanic captains versus the Straw Hat Pirates is what we've wanted since we met Blackbeard and saw that several of his crew members line up with Straw Hats. And I think that this is just something that's got to happen. And I really think,
Right.
obviously, it's a tough call. I'm not sure who's going to be the one Luffy meets up with last, if it's going to be Blackbeard or Shanks. But a big part of me wants it to be Blackbeard's the one standing in front of the throne for Luffy, and Luffy's crew versus Blackbeard's crew for the final showdown is just something I've been itching for. I've been itching for it. That's what I want to happen. I'm not going to say that's what I think's happening, but that's what I want.
It feels too perfect. Like, at least the one-on-ones with everybody in the Straw Hat crew versus the various members of the Blackbeard crew. It feels way too perfect, Like, at least, like, I'm down with Blackbeard. I think I'm down with Blackbeard being not being the final villain. Even though, like, as the years have gone, as I've heard people say things, like, I'm becoming more and more on board with Blackbeard being the final villain. But, like, I don't think I'll be, like, angry or disappointed if Blackbeard's not the final villain, It just everything just seems to point in that direction, and I can't possibly think of what else could be the final villain. Like, who else? Eam, maybe? I don't even know.
I really think that the only logical candidates are Eam, Blackbeard, and Shanks.
Oh yeah, people also say maybe Akainu. Sakazuki.
The world government in general.
I think Akainu depends on whether or not, Eam or the world government has some secret, strong power that
Exactly.
They can use. But because if not, then it's just going to be Akainu representing Eam.
Because we still don't know if Eam is a powerful being or if Eam's just
exactly.
like...
We don't know.
Exactly.
Do you guys have any dream matchups for the Blackbeard Pirates versus the Straw Hat Pirates?
Oh, wait, before we get into that, I just wanted to make this comment quickly. I don't know about if the Blackbeard versus Straw Hat matchups will happen, but I do think that between the Straw Hats, the Red Hat Pirates, and the Blackbeard Pirates, one of the two will have perfect matchups. Because during Marineford, it seemed like there were some matchups going on between Shanks' crew and Blackbeard's crew. And also, it seems that so I think that between two of these crews, at least, we will see some perfect matchups being made. I think, in the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But do you guys have dream ones? Because I have some.
Dream matchups. Usopp versus Van Augur. That's gotta happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Chopper versus Doc Q seems like it could be interesting. I don't know why, but I feel like Doc Q could be really fun.
I was about to mention those two because, as you may know, I'm a huge proponent of Law for Straw Hat, especially after this last chapter. Oh my goodness, am I 100% on board with this now? Because now Law has a dream that's tied with the One Piece and sailing with Luffy.
All right.
And he realizes that Luffy's crew is the key to that dream. So I'm 110% on board with that. And think about it, Doc Q is a package deal. It's him and Stronger. You get his horse.
The horse.
So, and you know what?
Oh, the horse.
So
yeah.
If Chopper's going against Doc Q, their mounts have to fight each other.
Chopper and Law, because Chopper riding Law. That's funny.
Chopper versus Stronger, Doc Q versus Law.
No. Chopper
No, the other
Law.
way around.
I mean, Chopper fighting Doc Q, Law fighting Stronger.
Yep. Because
You got that one scene from Punk Hazard of Chopper riding on top of Law's head like a hat.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So we could get something like that again. That would be funny.
And to make it a little less ridiculous, I think at some point, obviously Blackbeard wants all his crew members to have epic devil fruits. We could give Stronger an epic devil fruit ability. That will make him an actual threat instead of a weird...
That will make him stronger.
Hito no Mi, model Jesus or something. Alright,
Something crazy.
But I think that one would be quite interesting. I mean, of course, now assuming that Law doesn't join, right? Because some of us are not as sold as Levi.
I'm 100%.
Yeah.
We're not against it, but we're just not as sold as Levi. So assuming it's just Chopper versus Doc Q.
Yeah.
I think that it would be very interesting, only for the reason that Doc Q has his, at the very least we saw he makes apples that explode, and he's a good doctor. So who knows? Maybe it might be, which I think would be very interesting, that Chopper will have to use his medical knowledge in a way that actually hurts Doc Q instead of saving people.
That's interesting. That would be cool to see.
But that's just me and what I'd like to see.
Yeah. Who are we seeing versus Lafitte? He seems like an interesting guy. Maybe Sanji?
Sanji.
Yeah.
I was honestly on Sanji from the start.
Now, if it wasn't for the fact that Moria's on that crew now, apparently, I would say Brook would be my go-to for Lafitte.
That makes sense as well.
Because of their similar
that makes sense as
cocaine
well.
thing. But now, my theory is Robin.
Robin?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, why did you say Robin?
Just because he seems like he's the intellectual of the crew. He's the clever one. He's the smart one. He's the quick, slippery one.
Like honestly, all these three make perfect matchups. Like they all make sense. What you said about Robin, Brooke, and the fact that both of them are based off entertainment. One with music, one's a mime.
Yeah.
And also Sanji because of seemingly his role. on the
Sanji
crew as
just
well.
seems
Also,
like he's gonna fight Jesus Burgess though, because
That could be cool.
I don't. I feel like
Frankie
unless Jesus
or
Burgess
Jinbei.
gets some incredible fruit, I don't think Jesus Burgess is worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesus Burgess, he doesn't
Just
seem very
because of how-
intimidating, to be honest. But
Just because of how easily Sabo dealt with him, I just
Yeah.
feel like unless he gets a really good devil fruit, it's not.
yeah,
it's
we've
not
got to
worth
we've
it.
got to get
honestly.
him hyped back up because everyone else on the crew has had this hype around them, and then we just see Jesus out there getting bodied.
yeah.
Exactly. So unless either Burgess fights someone weaker on the Straw Hats crew,
Maybe I don't
or
wanna call
unless he
Frankie
gets
weak.
a really maybe devil fruit, and then he can fight maybe Sanji or someone stronger.
I don't want to call Frankie weak, but I think we could get the fight to Frankie. They're both big guys. I don't know. That's just it. Just the fact that they're both.
I could also see Jesus Burgess getting more gadgets, the thing he had on his elbow, and then maybe a couple more and other stuff. Then Frankie's like, okay, my gadgets are better than your gadgets,
Yeah.
and then have them muscle through.
Right. That could be fun.
And then, of course, we have, I think Nami just has to fight the girl because that's how Oda writes.
That's how Oda do it. Yeah.
Katarina?
Yeah.
Yeah, Katarina Devon.
Oh, one person using transformation, the other one person using illusion tempo or mist tempo.
Yeah, Mist
something
Tempo,
like that.
something like that. Yeah, okay. Zoro versus who? Do we have any?
Shiryu.
Shiryu.
Oh, Shiryu. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's yeah. It doesn't.
I still
like,
call him that, even though he's actually Shiryu or whatever.
Shiryu.
I still want to. Yeah, I think the
Oh.
official one is Shiryu. Shiryu.
Dang. That's tough. But,
Yeah, I really.
Yeah,
I
I
gotta watch.
Yeah, Shiryu sounds kind of
I
dumb.
gotta watch. I gotta watch the Impel Down part of the anime. Get these names right.
Yeah,
I
I
have to
don't have
open
too much to
this.
say about Blackbeard except for like I was thinking about last episode and we mentioned something about Devil Fruit awakenings. Like, what if he awakens his Devil
Oh.
Fruits?
I feel like I feel like honestly it may be too soon, but if he does, that would be crazy.
There's a common theory that he's also going to get his own. The whole,
Yeah.
3-headed flag he has, and one of each fruit.
Yeah, and he's got the strongest Paramecia, the strongest Logia. The strongest Zone just seems like the best.
I mean,
the
I
next
just
option.
want to imagine awakened Zoan Blackbeard with just blackness around him, and there's just the ground
Yeah.
splitting apart as he walks. The design that Oda would come up with would be
Incredible.
magnifique.
Incredible.
Are you sure? Oda's known to
but
do
what
goofy
zone?
designs when he's supposed to do
I
incredible
didn't say it would be
ones.
magnifique in the way it'd be cool,
Yeah,
but it would be
I
magnifique.
mean,
All right.
yeah. I think Luffy's Gear 4th is an example of it's unironically cool, but it's also kind of goofy too. I think it would have similar energy to that, But yeah. So any ideas about what that zone might be?
Well, it's not going to be Kaido's.
I think it might just end up
because
being.
as we established before, Nami's going to get
I don't
Kaido's power.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. I think I feel like Loki can't be any fruit we've already seen because we've already seen a fruit we've already seen get given to him. We've already seen him take a fruit that we've already seen. I think it'll be like it'll have to be like.
But what animal is more intimidating
me
than a
think.
dragon?
I don't know. Well, I made a joke about this before, but sometimes I joke about there being a Hito no Mi, like a human fruit modeled Jesus Christ, and that gives you a bunch of really crazy miraculous powers that based on Jesus' miracles in the Bible or something, But that's just an idea I just randomly throw around that I don't take seriously.
If we had a Buddha one,
But,
so
Yeah, we have a Buddha one. That's why I say we have a Buddha one. So what's stopping us from getting what are some other really crazy just human people or supposedly human people throughout history? There's this one Japanese guy, Susanoo, but we're dealing in Wano right now, so I feel like I don't know. Also, Odin is kind of based on Susanoo, so maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, just really crazy mythical creatures that we know about. I came up with this idea just randomly once. The Kami Kami no Mi. The god, Kami means god, but it can also mean paper or hair. So it doesn't actually give him god powers, but it gives him paper and hair powers. But for whatever reason, it's extremely potent. For whatever reason, it's extremely it has extreme destructive power for some reason.
for a second there, I was thinking, did we
yeah.
have that? But I was like, no, that's a Kama Kama no Mi.
Yeah, Kama Kama. Yeah.
I'm not sure what zone he could get, but if Blackbeard is this kind of evil character who is evil and also doesn't care about his crewmates, so also including the original Blackbeard pirates before the Impel Down ones, then assuming that Lafitte has a zone, I could also see him kill Lafitte and then take Lafitte's one, and then with the Yami Yami no Mi make the wings black instead.
I feel like
Maybe.
it would have to be something like.
Though, have we got
like-
any indication that he doesn't care about his crew? Like, obviously,
Yeah.
Big Mom doesn't care about his crew. Kaido cares about some of his crew members. Whitebeard loves his crew. But have we seen what Blackbeard thinks about his main guys?
No,
He hasn't
we
really-
haven't really gotten any indication.
Yeah. Like,
So-
they've talked to each other, but it's usually just like, hey, Aokiji's teaming up with us. You sure, boss? It's like, yeah, it's fine. Or like, what else have they? What other exchanges have they had
Yeah, not very many.
ever?
See, I think the most kind of, I don't know, serious interaction which has gone on was when Alvaro Pizarro was like, "Oh, why don't I become the captain?" Then Lafitte was like, "No." Like, they just told him straight up, like, yeah, a bit upset there, but he told him no. And then also when Burgess said, "Oh, Captain Teach," and then he's like, "It's Admiral Teach." But I think that's the most we've
But
seen.
that's once again Lafitte's interaction with them. We haven't seen what Blackbeard actually thinks.
Yeah,
about
how
his
he
crew.
thinks. So,
I really think it's only been a couple sentences, maybe, with them.
Yeah.
Oh, what? No, he did. Hold on, I forgot one. When he went to fight Ace 1-on-1, he told them all to leave because they couldn't handle it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They couldn't handle
right.
exactly.
So that
But then
shows
even
that
with
he
that-
at least values them more than Big Mom values her kids. Because she
I mean,
really
I don't know
can't-
about that one. I mean, I remember that one. I think, for some reason, I feel like there might have been something that happened in Impel Down. I may be wrong. But in that one, I don't know. On one hand, it could be that he values them. On the other hand, it could just be like, I still need you guys in the future. So, like, you can't go
Yeah.
dying with me when our plan is just getting started.
That's so weird that they've had almost no, and they definitely haven't had any valuable interaction. They have had just like he's given them orders once or twice. That's it. Like
I mean,
he's never talked to
yeah.
them. They're always just
Wasn't there something that implied that it wasn't a very personal thing? I can't remember the exact scene, but I feel like there was at one point where they said like, where somebody said like they would all leave if he didn't win or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, when
No, that
Shiryu
was-
standing outside the tarp when he stole Whitebeard's thing, and it's just like,
Okay.
and then he's like, "Oh, if this didn't work, then I forgot what he said. He said something about if this didn't
Yeah.
work, then it would have been screwed over, something like that."
Okay.
But it was
So,
always
yeah.
the impelled down prisoners. The impelled down prisoners saying stuff like, "Okay,
Okay.
Alvaro saying, I'm calling Alvaro. Alvaro saying, I'm gonna be captain," or Shiryu saying, "Oh, maybe I'll leave." But it's never the core members. We haven't. Obviously, Lafayette has a lot of respect for him, but we don't even know how the others feel about him, aside from listening to him.
Exactly.
Because we don't even know why. Are they afraid of him? Do they like him? Are they his friends? Are they like riding his coattails to power and glory? Like, wow.
I think it makes sense, but it's just shocking that we have got nothing.
Yeah.
Because even the Whitebeard parts, we didn't really get anything about them until they went to Marineford. When we saw them on the ship, they were just kind of like, oh, just standing on the side and then making slight comments, not really saying anything.
Yeah.
Until Marineford. So I'm guessing it to be probably a similar thing where we won't really get too much about how they interact with each other until we really see them do something.
Yeah,
that is a fantastic observation, though, that we've deduced here. That there's never been any like meaningful interaction between him and his crew.
yeah.
He almost never addresses them. He's always talking to someone else, and they're behind him.
Anything about the fact that Teach doesn't sleep?
About what?
I can't really think of anything. Like I've never really had
Wait,
The
what-
fact that
about
Teach
it.
doesn't sleep, about this whole lore of
Oh,
what's up
yeah.
with Teach.
He got
I,
weird body,
I,
man.
I haven't come up with any good ideas for it, and like things about his weird body or whatever. I haven't come up with any good ideas for it. There's the thing about it, like his three heads, and you got like you got the Cerebrus theory that like maybe he'll eat a Cerebrus devil fruit or something like that. But like never anything too concrete. Like most of any theories that go beyond any of that stuff I mentioned, they seem pretty flimsy. So, and I'm just gonna wait, just kind of wait it out not really think too much about it until it becomes relevant again.
Wait, guys. If Orochi's dead, that fruit might be in circulation.
Interesting.
It's got Blackbeard might be interested in it because obviously it's in the hands of someone who's pathetic. But that
Right.
I mean, an Orochi is like the ultimate villain in Japanese lore, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Then he can.
There's a reason that almost every single shonen series uses
And it's
one of those.
it's a mythical one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't. Oh yeah, we haven't really explored its power. So it probably has some other hidden powers as well.
Yeah, it's one possibility. But yeah, Blackbeard is a pretty big question mark.
Oof.
I'm just glad that he finally has a beard, because when we first met him, he didn't have one, and I was like, why is
Oh
he
yeah,
Blackbeard?
definitely, yeah. And even
Now
when
he's
he
got
did,
a pretty
like,
sick one.
yeah, when he did get his
Took him
beard,
2
it was
years
like,
to grow it, though.
No, back then before the beard, he was Teach,
yeah,
and then he got the beard, and then Shanks was like Teach. Oh, sorry. I see you growing something out there. Blackbeard.
Blackbeard, yeah, that's funny.
I like how a bunch of followers of him now are all like, I'm Brownbeard, I'm Pinkbeard, I'm...
Yeah.
They've got this...
Can we keep getting those? Just like the way we keep getting
Try
gifters.
hards.
Can we keep getting different colors?
Yes,
Try hard, you know.
Rainbow Beard,
All right. So, on to the next one.
Shanks.
Yeah, Shanks.
Shanks.
The original.
Does Shanks have a
Yeah.
son? That is the
Does
biggest
Shanks have a
mystery.
son? That is the big question. Yeah,
I
the
think-
big mystery.
I think that kid's Garp's son.
Ooh.
Kid is Garp's son?
Whoa.
Monkey D Kid? Yeah.
Monkey D Kid.
Monkey D Kid?
Kid is
Kid
Eustace.
is Luffy's uncle? Nah.
No,
that's-
I'm saying the child of Makino, because I think that's what we're all talking about, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the child of Makino. Okay, I thought you were saying Eustace Kid, like, because I've seen some theories that Eustace Kid is actually Shanks' son. So I thought you were just saying, like, randomly
Is whose
bringing
son?
that up.
Oh, Shanks.
Shanks'
Just because they
son.
both have red hair.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yeah,
think
you got
that's
the
the case.
same color hair. You got the scar. I think they have scars on the same side of their face. I think they're missing the same arm. There's a lot of really weird visual parallels going on between them.
If they're missing the same arm, that's a bit dark. His father came in and
Yeah.
like, no, the resemblance is not enough.
Yeah,
Got some
or
Zuko
maybe
vibes
like
going on there.
I've also seen this theory that like Shanks is like he's trying to take strong people's arms and like put it on to replace his arm, so that he can be at like full power or something. So
That sounds like
yeah.
have you guys
Naruto
watched
stuff
Pirates of
there.
the Caribbean?
Oh,
Oh no,
no.
I haven't. But
Oh, okay.
that does sound like something you would take inspiration from. That does sound like something you take inspiration from. But
Yeah,
like,
because I don't know. In I think the second movie, like the Captain Jack Sparrow, I think he in the beginning he loses his hat. You know the classic. I forgot what they call those pirate hats. And then he spends the whole movie. He keeps going and stealing people's hats and putting it on to see if it fits him. Like, is this my hat? No. So like that's literally the whole movie until like the end when something else happens. So I was like, oh, that's the same thing. Like Shanks just keeps taking people's arms. Okay, does this work? No.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
then-
new one.
yeah.
They're gonna call Shanks of the
Like,
Thousand Arms.
and then you would think that like and like here's this other theory that somebody mentioned that like Buggy and Shanks are gonna meet up. Buggy is gonna give Shanks one of his arms so that Shanks can use it, and like then Shanks is gonna be at his full strength, and then he's gonna go all out. Somehow, like we don't know like how, but he's gonna like show like he has this crazy, crazy hockey or whatever. But he's gonna be able to use he's gonna be able, I don't know, swing his sword with both his arms, which is like really strong or something. I don't know, but yeah.
I love these theories, but it makes me wonder if people know what series they're reading.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, I've seen some really crazy, like just so many like off the wall theories, and it's like this is so not Oda, and it makes me kind of glad that Oda does not write like you, because Jesus Christ, this is terrible sometimes, you know. But yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh, I think the funniest one was one I saw in Roger's Basis stream. You know the chapter when we found out that Kaido has a son?
Right.
Where he's like, "Where's my son?" And then everyone was kind of speculating, like, who's Kaido's son? Was he the guy we saw in like the underground? Was he this person? Was he that person? And someone was in Roger's stream saying Shanks is Kaido's son. And
You were now.
I mean, I just found that really funny because then I had to throw out like just a random funny video saying, okay, you know, you see, there's so many parallels. Both of them love to drink.
Right.
I mean, story wise, it makes sense. You know, Kaido's trying to start the greatest war, and you know, Shanks seems to be like ending wars.
Yeah.
So, I mean, father and son,
Yeah.
dynamic duo.
Yeah, I saw this one guy who said that
But-
Ryokugyu or Green Bull was supposed to be Kaido's son. I've also saw somebody say Kuma was Kaido's son. I was thinking everybody was crazy for even believing that his son would be anyone else than a new character, anyone other than a new character. And guess what? I was right. Wow. And
I mean, you should be making these videos.
right. I swear. Anyway. Maybe I'll get. Maybe I really feel like I should get into like making anime theories, but like I don't know. Never really like had the I don't know whatever motivation or whatever had it to like sit down, rationalize everything, do the counter arguments and everything like that. But yeah. Anyways, back to.
I only have the one theory. I'm willing to stake that much.
Yeah,
on.
which one? What theory? Oh, law
The
for
law.
Straw Hat? Yeah,
law.
it's kind of far fetched. Have,
Yeah.
have you actually made a video arguing like specifically for Law to be Straw Hat?
I made a video about Law's fate.
Not
A
dying.
little bit.
Yeah,
I didn't make. It wasn't exclusively about. Yeah,
I
his
think-
not
I think
dying
you should,
and
to
the
be
purpose
honest.
for bringing up the immortal surgery. I
think you
think I
should.
will at some point,
Yeah, definitely.
especially after this last chapter.
Yeah. If you want me to be honest, it'll take me a while. It'll take me quite a bit of convincing to believe that Law will be a Straw Hat or that Law is even a candidate. But I mean, yeah, like we've had like these little interactions or whatever, but it doesn't like sit quite right. You know, we've got the whole fact that Law is the captain of his own crew. Like, what is his crew gonna do if Law joins the Straw Hats? You know.
I'll win you over. I'll make a video. I'll win you over.
Okay, please.
I
do
mean,
something.
I could see it, but like, yeah.
You know, here's a thing that I've been wanting to do for a while. Do like an anime debate thing where we like where we get like some people on here and we just like we actually like come up with like these debates. We like we make all our points and we actually like go at it like a formal debate. You know,
That would be great.
that could be fun. Yeah,
I object.
you're right. But yeah, I want to be the moderator of a debate. But yeah, I don't really have any.
Sorry,
I don't have like. Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. You can finish because I was just going to bring us back to
Okay.
topic.
Okay, yeah. So basically, like, I haven't really been able to like. Sometimes I feel like. Sometimes like my predictions or my theory or you know they're not really theories. Most of what I have to say about like most of what like my ideas or like predictions, they're not really theories. They're just based on like a gut feeling or something. Like the whole fact that Law is not going to be the whole, not the fact, but like the whole idea of Law not being a Straw Hat is mostly just a gut feeling. Like you could say, you know, he's got his crew, he's got like his own. He seems to have his own like ambitions or whatever. You've got the sword stuff, you know. Even though that's a whole another thing. That'd be interesting to see you and Randy duke it out about what Law is
Ooh.
actually up to.
Episode 1,
About
let's
sword.
go.
All right, but anyways,
But yeah, Shanks. We can.
yeah. Back on topic. What were you gonna say, KZ?
Well, I was gonna just I was thinking about the whole Shanks and everything that he's doing in the story right now because Shanks is a very confusing character just because we know so little about what really motivates him to do what he's doing now, all the things he's doing behind the scenes, and I want to get some of your thoughts because there seems to be one school of thought that says that okay, you know what, Shanks is going to die because Blackbeard is going to kill him, which I don't agree with, but at the same time, like, I don't see anyone talking about anything else happening to Shanks, right? because I mean it's the
You haven't
same
been watching
issue we
my
talked
videos
about
then.
with Kaido and Big Mom as to what happens to these guys. I mean, maybe Shanks is the easiest. He can just kind of retire. He seems like a guy who would just be happy to retire from being a pirate. But where is Shanks going in the story?
He has goals. We just haven't seen them yet. You see,
Exactly,
clearly,
that's what I'm saying.
he has agendas. He has things he's working on and working towards. For instance, if he was just like, I'm chilling, I'm a pirate, why would he need to go and interfere with other pirates' doings?
Exactly.
Because he's going to stop the war. He's going to Reverie to talk to the world government about a certain pirate. That who is he talking about? That is one of the most fascinating questions. Because I know a lot of people think, okay, maybe Luffy, but I don't think he wants to interfere with Luffy's journey. And what was the most interesting to me about Shanks is the fact that we always thought he couldn't possibly be after the One Piece because he was there and he knows the implication of what the One Piece is and that it's not his generation's turn. But we learned he wasn't there. We don't actually know how much information he has about the end of the voyage.
Yeah. One thing about like him at the Reverie, we said this. We actually talked a little bit about this last episode. You weren't there, but yeah, I feel like the general fan consensus is probably Blackbeard, especially especially I guess because of the Return to Reverie fan thing. But yeah, they said like it was probably going to be Blackbeard. And I feel like that makes sense. He was trying to warn Whitebeard about Blackbeard, and then Whitebeard didn't listen, and then look what Blackbeard did. So, like, maybe... oh, my lord. I dropped my mic. But, yeah. Maybe Blackbeard... I mean, maybe, Shanks is trying to take, the bad news about Blackbeard, a little bit higher up, trying to tell somebody a little bit more important. Someone who might who might, A, listen, and B, might have some sort of solution. Oh yeah, also, King KZ, you said something really cool, really funny, really interesting about why you think it could be, why you think it could be Luffy he was talking about. Do you want to say it again?
Oh, okay. Basically, I was saying, because, yeah, normally you would be like, he doesn't want to interfere. Also, why would he kind of just like, what's the right word? Cock block is not the right word, but just like block Luffy's journey, essentially. Like, why would he? Then I was saying that the only reason I could see him actually talking about Luffy is if, this whole time, in the interest of like keeping, I don't know, peace around the world and stopping wars, Shanks has been kind of working with the world government behind the scenes. That's why they organized together for Shanks to go and stop Kaido and maybe some other stuff. But then now that Luffy's in the final part of his journey, Shanks is just like, okay, you know what? It's been great working with you guys, but I'm here to support Luffy, so I'm going to have to go. Nice working together. See.
That is a very interesting theory.
But more on what Smizzle was saying about, him talking about Blackbeard. I want to say that he could talk about Blackbeard, and then maybe that's why in the next chapter, after we see Shanks during the Reverie chapters, the next thing we see is them talking about a cleansing, because maybe they listened, and maybe that they need to cleanse Blackbeard out of the world because of how much of a threat he is. But yeah, that's just some off the cuff thoughts.
I think everybody's been sleeping on the fact that Reverie's when we learned about the Rocks Pirates. And
that's true.
He could be talking about one of them.
That's true. Interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, because I've always wondered like who else
dead.
apart from those two. But yeah, maybe.
It's Gin.
Yeah.
It's Gin. He wanted to talk
Oh
about
my
Gin.
gosh. Yes, finally.
Yes, the biggest threat in the One Piece world. Come
Right.
on, the lurking legend.
I would actually like for something like that. A character we didn't know, like kind of coming back into relevance. Not just coming back into relevance, but coming back like so hugely, But yeah.
Chapter 1000.
anyways.
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, we gotta like when we in episode 1 after chapter 1000, maybe we should just make like half of it about the actual One Piece and then half of it about the chapter, you know, because I feel like yeah, especially well specifically if chapter 1000 is actually going to be something crazy, you know, if chapter 1000 turns out to be you know just a normal next chapter, it'll be pretty underwhelming to be honest, but yeah, but yeah, like if chapter 1000 really pops off, then I feel like we could dedicate like at least half an episode to it. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, next week I'm actually going to put together a video of what we can expect from chapter 1000, based on what we've seen at the other intervals, 100, 200, 300, 400, and so.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, isn't it neat? Isn't it interesting how? Dang, I forgot what I was gonna say. Wow.
Fascinating.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it interesting how? Oh yeah. Chapter 1000 coming in 2020. That's definitely happening now. Like we thought it wasn't gonna happen because of you know Corona and everything. But I feel like it's a lock at this point. Like
someone did the math.
No break next
only
week
if he
either.
doesn't take any breaks.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
he doesn't take any breaks.
No breaks at all? Because like
Well,
next
aside
chapter,
from the ones, Shonen Jump takes 2 more breaks this year, I think. So if he takes none, then he makes.
if you take none
makes it.
during those 2 weeks, then yeah, we're definitely getting chapter 1000 this year. Which is like I don't care either way. Like if we get it this year or if we get it like within the first couple weeks next year, I'm happy.
Anything
yeah.
else about Shanks we can say?
Anything else about Shanks? You got the baby Makino. That at Makino's island, we have the wedding.
That's
we never
Garp's
really
baby.
know where
You know
Shanks is. It's Garp's baby. That's an interesting idea. Why do you say Garp?
Oh, just because I think it's funny to say that. And there's really no one else we see of note that interacts with that town aside from those two.
Come on, it's
Yeah.
the mayor's son.
It's
my.
Whoop Slap son. Interesting.
Never considered that.
Yeah.
No.
Or maybe it's just
Oh,
no one at all in particular. Maybe it's just some minor background character.
Nah, then he.
That's
then Oda
too
would draw
boring.
the husband. Oda would draw the husband.
Yeah.
Imagine
maybe he just
Oda
wants
drew a
to-
silhouetted husband. The way
Wait.
people
Oh
would
my
go
God.
crazy.
Guys, it's Ace's kid.
Oh my days.
How?
Well, we see the baby after the time skip. So for all we know,
Yes.
the baby is a year and some odd months old.
But like it was 2 years since he died.
Yeah, and it takes 9
I
months to
mean,
make
Ace
Oh, yeah,
Ace
okay.
was also born
I'm
how
done, I'm done.
much long?
Okay, I'm done. But yeah, it would have to be like right. It would have to be like right before Blackbeard challenged him. Right before.
Yeah, who
his
knows?
Blackbeard's fight.
Maybe he heard Blackbeard was in the East Blue, and he's like, "While I'm here,
Oh.
might as well."
Right. Well.
Say hi to Makino.
God. Yeah. That's weird to think about. Actually, that's super weird to think about because she was an adult when he was a kid. Yeah. That sounds. Yeah. It doesn't sound like it's very. It doesn't sound like a very realistic relationship. But anyways.
Pirate
true.
King's line lives on.
Yeah, because Makino, she looks good for her age or whatever, but like, yeah, she's got to be like 30s or 40s by now, right?
True, I think so.
Yeah, right around Shanks' age, pretty sure. So like, yeah, that's why people say Shanks. But yeah, maybe I really. I think it could be funny for whatever reason. I'm down with the baby is Shanks is not Garp's son. The baby is Garp's son theory. There was this one theory that Shanks was a baby on the Rocks crew, and Roger and Garp they found him, and then they took him like Roger took him in, but that theory kind of falls apart when you remember. And I think it was one of the data books when it was revealed that Shanks was born in the West Blue. But
I mean, I don't think it falls apart. But you're saying,
but we do know actually that there was someone who was on the Roger. Who is like tied to Shanks, who is actually like the exact same age as Shanks, who was born
Buggy.
somewhere in the Grand Line, and it was Buggy.
Buggy Tide Show.
That would be. What if? I would actually love that. I don't love. I can't see it actually happening. But
Hey, I was
it's
going
fun
to
think about. It's fun to think about the fact that
Yeah.
what if Buggy is like Rox's child or something like that. Rox D Buggy. Oh man,
Inherited
that would be
well.
so crazy. I don't even know
I think with the whole Shanks was a baby on the Rocks Pirates, it could still be true because Shanks was 1 year old when that happened. So who knows? Maybe they transferred him in that 1 year. But
Oh yeah, maybe he was born
with
in the
Buggy,
West Blue, and then one of the Rock.
yeah, and then they moved. But with Buggy, I was gonna bring this up. Maybe not the son of Rocks, but who knows? Maybe that's why he's looking for Captain John's treasure. He's the son of Captain John.
That
would be interesting.
That would hit at the heartstrings a little bit.
Exactly. So, it's just a random one though.
I don't know.
I know it's
So
just like a random one that's like can't really say anything that doesn't. But the gut feeling says
Right.
no.
There's just too many loose ends to the story. We just we need everything. Oda, just tell us everything about every
Right.
character.
Exactly.
We need
Right.
data books for each character, novelizations of their lives.
Yeah. But yeah. Also, Levi, I didn't tell you guys, or I didn't tell you earlier because you weren't on. But like, I have an idea for what to do for episode 2, if we haven't come up with an idea for it yet. I guess.
I thought we were gonna do 2 years later.
Yeah, we're gonna do like the
2
time
years
skip, and just like time skips in One Piece. Yeah, like times in which and just like the chronology of like the timeline and stuff like that. We could do stuff. We could do all that kind of thing. But yeah. Anyway, I think I've said everything that I want to say. Like other than just random thoughts about Shanks. I think I've said
I
everything.
mean,
I
we
want
could delve into so many details about these people's crews and lives.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like I said, this video could easily be 6 to 10 hours long.
And I'm hungry. I'm kind of tired. I think I want to eat something.
Before we end, I think just at least a little short discussion for the sake of Bravo, because you wanted us to talk about the fifth emperor.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. So
Because okay, we don't really have to, because I know Luffy's like the main character and all that, but what do you guys think like about Luffy being the fifth emperor, and what makes an emperor at least?
all right. I've said this before, but like an emperor it's not just your strength; it's also your clout. And Luffy just happened to have the clout, to make him fifth emperor. Even though, and like the thing is, like the world at large probably considers him the fifth emperor, but like some of those upper tier pirates, they definitely don't consider him an emperor. Like Big Mom and Kaido, they don't consider him an emperor. Shanks, he might. Because he was like, I guess I'll be seeing you soon or something like that. So he might be like,
I think
he might
that-
be down
yeah.
with the idea, sort of.
I think that Smizzle's right, because the outside world doesn't really ever know. The media is very narrow in this world. So I think that people probably living at the first half of the Grand Line in Paradise, people living in the Blues are like, oh, there's another pirate that's up there with him? Oh, well, this is scary. But obviously us as readers, we're not meant to believe that he's actually an emperor at this point.
Right.
Because he can't fight them. Obviously he's gotten a lot stronger since the last time he tried to attack one. But he got one shot by Kaido. He's not
Right.
there yet. We aren't meant to, as readers, think he's there yet. But I think the world at large probably thinks so. As, in the One Piece universe.
I would say that he is. I think that he is, because just going off like the whole what makes an emperor, and I see a lot of people bringing arguments of clout, of territory, of power, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's true, but it's also who considers you an emperor, right?
Right, yeah, there's no
So-
emperor system. Like there's a
Exactly.
warlord
There's-
system or an
Yeah,
admiral
and it's becoming it's not like becoming an admiral where they measure you. They probably have a criteria of who can become an admiral and who can't. They probably have a more strict criteria on that one. But
Then you get Admiral Pay, and you get Admiral nickname, and you get...
exactly, you get a powerful devil fruit, everything. But what I was gonna say is that Luffy, on the other hand, he's probably, in the eyes of most people around the world, considered like one of those, strongest pirates in the world, most fearsome pirates. Also understanding that most people around the world are regular people. So when you talk about strong pirates, right? I think after certain level of strength, it's hard to see right off the cuff if one pirate is stronger than another. Unless they fight, you probably won't be able to. You just be like, okay, yeah, these guys are both incredible. They can both destroy mountains. Like, you can't really tell unless they fought. So for them, as far as they're concerned, Luffy's a Yonko, and at least for us, we know he's not as strong. Other top tier people, other Yonko know he's not as strong. Maybe like admirals know he's not as strong. But is that the question? Whose opinion matters more? That Luffy's a Yonko or not? And for me, I just think it's really the people, because it's kind of being a Yonko is kind of like your superiority over everyone else. So if most other people say like you are, take it like being a celebrity. If the celebrities don't think you're a celebrity, but other people think you're a celebrity, then does that make you a celebrity or not? For me, like, that's how I think about it.
That's how I think about it too.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
So for me, I would say
No debate coming from us.
love it. Love to hear this agreement. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I think that's all we really got, or that's all I got. Be sure to subscribe to everybody in the description. Subscribe to check out the Onesie Piece podcast. That's where Waddles is from, where they talk about One Piece and they wear onesies. And check out the Voice of All Things.
Oh, and don't forget to join the Discord. It's free.
Yeah, it's free.
Donuts.
It doesn't hurt you very much, and. If you're a small One Piece creator, we can go and we can we can collab, and maybe we can you can be on this podcast. There aren't very many episodes left to be on, so you better hurry, I guess. But yeah, so and also subscribe to me. Yeah, see ya.